Good morning, and welcome back to Rise and Shine College Football. I'm your host, Jason Watkins, and if you love college football, you know you're in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment of Hall of Fame college football. Well, another day, another national media outlet missing the full picture on Oklahoma football, ladies and gentlemen. The Athletic says the Sooners are falling in the SEC after the winter portal window. I say, have they even checked the stats before they write this shit? So let's talk a little bit about this. Obviously, the main things that what we're finding in this deal, which is, I find it quite fun, to be honest with you. Well, I'll just bring it up for you. It says, yes, the Sooners signed Washington State quarterback John Mateer, the number 2 player in the portal, according to 247 Sports. But there are too many losses to ignore. Oklahoma lost 26 players to the portal, with 19 signing with Power 4 programs. 3 were in the top 100. Quarterback Jackson Arnold of Auburn, wide receiver Nick Anderson, LSU, and linebacker Deshaun McCullough, who went to Nebraska. And they're saying Mateer is the only top 100 addition. It's also notable that 10 of Oklahoma's 15 portal additions are from Group of 5 or FCS. How many of these players making the jump turn out to be contributors? That will be a storyline to follow in 2025. Now, yeah, they lost key players, quote unquote, like Arnold, Nick, and Deshaun. The question is, they were key players at what point in 2024? And then only the talking about that they only brought in group of 5 or FCS players, and then of course that they're falling behind in the SEC. I find it kind of funny, right? Let's talk about the first. Let's talk about the first thing that they're talking about here. Jackson Arnold to LSU. Now, claiming that he is a big hit to Oklahoma's future is kind of hilarious to me. Arnold's numbers at OU were 1,421 passing yards with 12 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. But what you're not seeing here on this ESPN stat line is, 3 turnovers in the first half versus Tennessee, 3 interceptions and a fumble in the Alamo Bowl loss to Arizona the year before that, and all in all, 13 total turnovers in 10 games played for Oklahoma. Now, you got to compare this to John Mateer, that group of 5 guy. 44 total touchdowns in 2024 while at Washington State. He's a proven dual threat option with better ball security. You didn't really lose a quarterback. They upgraded at quarterback, if you ask me. I mean, take a look at it, guys. It's pretty simple to see it. Mateer, he completed 64.6% of his passes, 3,139 yards, 29 TDs passing, 7 interceptions. Obviously, rush-wise, 178 for 826 yards on the ground, along with 15 more touchdowns, guys. That's 44 touchdowns in 2024. I mean, it's not hard to see. It's just not hard to see. The truth is, JFA, again, 3 turnovers in the first half against Tennessee. Both, and 2 of those 3 were at times when the defense had just turned over Tennessee in plus territory and had an opportunity to go down there and win that football game. Had Michael Hawkins been playing earlier, they probably do win. And with 13 total turnovers in 10 games played for Oklahoma, I don't know how it's not just a net positive for your Sooners to be getting John Machir. Now, let's go back to this other deal. Obviously, talking about wide receiver Nick Anderson, and we'll get to Deshaun in just a second as well. But when you look at these guys that are the portal wide receivers and what you lost here, right? This is what you lost as far as your cumulative total for the whole group. With Andrell Anthony, obviously, BT, Brennan Thompson, our guy Nick, and then Jalil Farouk, along with Jaquez Petaway. 41 receptions total, 690 yards, 3 touchdowns with a long of 56. Two of those touchdowns were, of course, Brennan Thompson's. It's pretty wild to me. Anyway, 3 touchdowns, 56, a 56-yard touchdown being the longest one. Now, if you start looking at some of these other guys, here's one of the transfers in. He doesn't come from a G5. This is just Josiah Martin. He had 12 receptions, no touchdowns, but he, averaged 9.3 yards per as a freshman at Cal. Isaiah Sategna, 2024, he played at Arkansas, 37 receptions, 491, 13.3 per, and he had a touchdown. He had, aside from touchdowns, he had more production than the whole group by himself. Keontez Lewis, 49 receptions, 790 yards last year at Southern Illinois. 5 touchdowns. He averaged 16.1 yards per reception. He had more production a year ago than the whole group. Giovanni Gibson, FCS player, yes, but 70 receptions, 1,215 yards, 17.4 yards per reception, 9 touchdowns with the 60-yarder in there. By himself, times 6 what they had. Times 6. Deion Burks. Now, of course, only playing 5 games in 2024, 31 receptions, 245 is right up there with what they had. And, of course, the 3 touchdowns. That was him being hurt for the better part of the season, right? He played in 5 games total. The year before that, he had I guess I didn't put that one on there, but the year before that, he had even more. I think it was I'll go back and take a look, but I'm pretty sure it was somewhere in the neighborhood of like 40-something receptions. He had 600 plus yards total, 9 touchdowns that year. But again, going back to the portal wide receivers that left, 690, 3 touchdowns total. And you look at a guy like Nick Anderson, he didn't play but one half of one game. Andrell Anthony never got on the field. Jalil Farouk played the first few plays of the first quarter of the first game, had a big catch. We didn't see him much again. He did play again in the Missouri game. He was injured most of the season, got re-injured right then. So when you look at this, what are we talking about here, guys? What are we talking about here? The perception is not reality, though. And that's the whole point. Now, if we move on to, let's see. Let's talk about Deshaun McCullough. The claim is obviously that it's a big hit. It hurts OU's defense, a defense that, was in the top 20 of the biggest categories, the most important categories. They were number 1 in the SEC in defensive efficiency and defensive touchdowns. They ranked top 20 nationally in 9 different defensive categories. Look, Deshaun's a good player when he was healthy, but defense was not the issue here. He only appeared in 5 games. last year. I think everybody knows that he's a guy that everybody wanted to bring back. He's a guy that they would have enjoyed bringing back. But in the end, with the way that things went last year, they were going to have to move guys out. You had obviously the portal stuff. I think out of the 25 guys that they lost in the portal, most of those guys were told you should probably go and get in there because you have to make an impact this year if you're Brent Venables. The real problem with OU in 2024, and I mean, this is why I just say, it's a terrible take because the real problem with Oklahoma in 2024, it wasn't portal losses. It was injuries decimating key positions like, wide receiver and offensive line, especially a terrible offensive coordinator with dysfunction all around the room, one-dimensional attack that put too much pressure on an inefficient quarterback named Jackson Arnold. The solution, really, OU's already upgraded at quarterback, and they're going to adjust their play calling with Ben Arbuckle as well. Talking about him, Arbuckle had huge year for him. The last 2 years actually have been great for Arbuckle, where, let's see, he was last year anyway. Let's just talk about last year. I'll bring that up. They averaged 33.8 points per game, which was ranked 15th in the country. Yards per game, 426.7. That's 28th in the country. Points per play, number 11th in the country. It's half a point per play that they ran. And yards per play was 6.4 yards per play, which ranked 13th in FBS overall. That's your upgrade right there. As far as the Sooner defense is concerned, we've talked a lot about that. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk the last few weeks because of the whole thing with Knowles. But the truth is, they were already lighting it up everywhere anyway, as it was. Let's see. Let me go back to this where I was at on that. As I said, they had. Yeah, I mean, Deshaun had 17 total tackles, 10 solo tackles on the year. Like I said, he's a good player, but when you're top 20 in the country in 9 defensive categories, and you probably got better than the number 1 defensive efficiency team in the SEC. Losing a role player at linebacker isn't really a reason to claim that Oklahoma's falling. It just ignores the full picture. Portal departures don't matter when they weren't producing anyway, guys. Oklahoma didn't lose a quarterback. They upgraded at a quarterback. The Sooners defense remains elite, and the offensive portal additions will be better than lackluster 2024 production that saw them rank in the 100s pretty much in everything. They were 128th in total offense, 116th in scoring offense. It can't get worse. The national media has been lazy on OU's transition to the SEC, so don't let them control the narrative. Let me know what you think. We're going to jump in here with and bring my guy and my Monday co-host into the show. Let me get there. Mike Boganowski. What's up, big dog? I think you're muted. You are muted. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Bro, you muted me. I don't mute.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
I need everybody to hear everything that goes on in the real house. You know what I mean? Dogs running around. Wife working, yelling at me because I'm too loud because she's on a call. I need people to hear. It's real out here. All right? It's real out here.
What's up, man? What's up, everybody? I wanted to get through all that before I started talking to anybody in here. Glad everybody showed up with us.
I'm over here writing notes, bro. I was taking notes, writing like stuff I got to say because this is some bullshit, and I gotta make sure I get these off here. You know what I mean? Can't
Go
forget.
for it. Well, tell us what you think. I mean, and that's the thing. we're getting comments about the perception isn't going to change until the performance makes them change. But the bottom line is, guys, do some actual work. Do some actual work as a journalist. Know what the hell you're saying. Tell me what you were saying. Tell them what you were saying as before we came on.
I mean, so here's like, okay, it's like kicking a dog when they're down, right? And it's okay. Go ahead and get your kicks in. Because when we stand back up and we start biting back and fighting back, we ain't trying to hear it, man. We ain't trying to hear it. It's lazy and it's an easy pile on by the media, right? They leaving out key facts, man. You know, everybody, they leave out key facts to fit their narrative and their spin, right? That Oklahoma's on a down spot, or they can't adjust and they can't pull up. They're gonna crash and burn. Like, bitch, please. All right. But what they don't tell you is everybody has to get their numbers down. You know what I mean? Everybody has to get their numbers down, whether they're doing it now in the winter portal or they're going to do it in the spring. You know what I mean? Oklahoma chose to get out in front of it. So, I mean, do your homework, national media and whoever that was you said it was. Don't even care because their shit's weak.
Yeah, it was
All
the
right.
Athletic. The Athletic, and they're supposed to be like the best of the best. That's New York
That's what I'm
Times.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, come on, man. Like, like I always come back to like it's a spin, like O'Reilly's show, right? The spin factor. You know what I mean? The no spin zone or some shit. That's what I can't get that out of my head these days. But he was on it. He was on it back in the day. You know what I mean? I used to watch that joint in college. It used to make me laugh.
Yeah.
But I got some more stuff here. I got some more notes. Right? As far as the quarterback, right? Like Jackson Arnold turned the ball over way too much, right? And here's my overarching theme of my
13 turnovers in 10 games.
here's my overarching theme in my next few comments. All right, the money wasn't right, right? And if you guys don't think about that, bro, you have to think about this. Money is a factor. As much as we all hate to admit it in college athletics, money is a factor.
Yeah.
But the amount of money, and I don't know what the number was, but I don't. He was getting paid too much to turn the ball over like he did. Okay, and
To be
that,
playing, he was turning the ball over too fucking much. What do you
that
mean?
shit ain't gonna fly, bro. At any level, the NFL, high school, you know what I mean, college, that shit is not flying. You cannot put the ball on the ground, right? And we have a running back that's supposed to be the real deal, and hopefully he gets that fixed because he's going to be in the same position if he doesn't stop putting the ball on the ground. And I hope by God, he fixes that, man, because the dude can be electric.
Oh,
All
dude.
right.
Yeah.
And my last thing with Jackson Arnold is we have to stop, you know, living off the high school ranking when they get to college. Like, how long does that? He was a 5-star. He was. You know what I mean? That you
Mhm.
guys say it all the time. He was a 5-star. He's a 5-star. He was a 5-star. Now he's in college.
At what point did he ever play like a 5-star at Oklahoma?
But what I'm saying is you cannot those expectations, in my opinion and how I view it, that shit dies when you go to college because it's a different beast. Like you cannot keep living off your high school rankings or you'll never get past that or be better. If you just kill, he was a 5-star, he's a 5-star, I'm a 5-star, who cares? It's never going to continue and you're never going to get better. It needs to dead that shit needs to get dead after high school. All right. Now I want to talk about Deshaun, right?
Mhm.
Hell of a player,
Love
loved
this song.
Deshaun. He was
Love this.
violent as hell, and he had bad intentions every time he come to the ball, right? Um, but he just really what Deshaun does well is he is an outside linebacker, like edge rusher, stand up edge rusher, right?
Mm.
Tall, lengthy, fast, And that's just not what we do at Oklahoma on the edge, right? And I think it was a mutual decision that he wanted to go somewhere where he would be able to do that, right? In his last year of eligibility to go to the league.
Right.
And again, it probably comes down to money. The production just wasn't there, in the last year for him to warrant sticking around. And it was just kind of a mutual decision from what I see on the outside looking in with Deshaun. Like, love the kid. Hope he does well at Nebraska. I've talked to my people up there about him. And they're super excited for him. But at the end of the day, man, he probably, as an outside rusher or a linebacker like that, he probably wanted some money, and maybe that had a factor in it. All right.
Yeah.
But I don't know, but
I don't think
that's
it had a huge from what I understand, I think it was one of those deals. You heard what BV said at the end of the year, or when he was introducing Arbuckle, when he brought him in, and he was saying, "Look, we're about to have some tough conversations with people that I don't want to have them with."
100%. It's
And he
100%.
was one of them. It was clearly he was one of them because he
Yep.
ended up in the portal shortly thereafter and
Yeah.
ended up gone shortly thereafter. Is he a great player? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I have nothing but respect for Deshaun McCullough. The point I was making is 17 total tackles, 10 of them being solo tackles, isn't really enough. And it doesn't mean that he wasn't great. Here's the thing though. If that's what you're getting, this defense was good. He played in 5 games. It wasn't really because of what he did or didn't do that made them be ranked what they were and be one of the better defenses, or the most efficient defense anyway, in the SEC.
And he was just out of position. You
I
know
think,
what I mean? He was
yeah,
playing cheetah a lot, and
and that's not really
he's
his spot. Yeah,
it's just not where he needed to be.
no,
And it was just he was in that position out of necessity for most of the year. I mean, thank God he was still there. When Dolby got hurt, we had a guy that could come in and pick up some slack that had some experience there. All right, but I'm going to move on to our receivers, right?
yeah,
And you put up the stats. I don't know if you want to pop those up again or whatever, but you know, here's where we're winning, right? And the athletic doesn't talk about the underlying issue, right, with money, right? Because that's what it's about now. Like I already said it. Maybe as much as we don't want to admit it, but money and payroll is what it's about, right? I mean, there it is, right there. Like I don't know how much money is combined with those 5 gentlemen right there, but 41 receptions for 690 and 3 tutties,
yeah,
whatever they're paying those dudes was way too much, right?
yeah,
And at the end of the day, it's coming down to money. You know what I mean? And we seen some stuff, especially on social media. As soon as the portal opened, people looking better than ever and feeling great. And it doesn't lend them credibility that they were really down for the university and Oklahoma Sooners. And the got to trim some of the fat, man, and reallocate that money because we got dudes that are coming off the edge that we wanted to keep and we needed to pay them. Yeah,
yeah,
we got dudes on the interior of the defense that we had to pay because we wanted to keep, and those dudes, whether it was they were hurt or they didn't want to burn a year of eligibility but still collect the check. I don't know. It is what it is. I don't know if we'll ever know the whole story unless one of those dudes talks about it. But I think you heard it one of the times on Oklahoma Breakdown with Teddy and Gabe. Like it's a factor, man, and people are tired of it. And you gotta earn your money. And that was I mean the wipers, like the numbers wise, it wasn't a loss, right? In fact, I think we're looking better in the wide receivers, what we're paying them and per player, it's a win in the overall arching aspect of Oklahoma football roster construction and money. It's a win. It's a win in the wide receiver room because it looks like we got a couple dudes that are hungry, right? We got some dudes that are big, physical, and fast, and now we just it needs to translate over to the game field, right? And I think it's a dub. And I'll end it on this, right? And it's cliche, and it's an adage, time tested adage that it's a fact, man. Your best ability is your availability, and if you're not playing, you have no value to the team. And I'm gonna end it on that, man, because that athletic, like, come on, man, we gotta do better.
Right.
Gotta do better.
No, I agree with you. And I think, look, that's why I read that and I was like, I was kind of deciding on what I was going to talk about today. Obviously, we'll talk a little bit about the Super Bowl as well, since, there's plenty to talk about there and what happened last night. But I want to bring in Coach Ricks to help us finish up this part of the conversation right now. But welcome into the show, Coach Ricks.
What's going on, fellas? What's going on, Big Mike? What's going on?
What's up, man?
Hey, Mike, speaking that gospel. He's speaking that gospel.
Hey, man.
Well, I had to get my mind right. You know what I mean? With this little white monster.
Well, and like I said, there was something that, I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about. And, I started reading through different stuff last night and I got to that and I thought, it's unbelievable to me, the narratives that continue to go around now. And it's one thing that, you've got, how it is. We've got these negative Nancys that are all throughout the fan base. And obviously I think that I've always said that they're the minority of the fan base, but they're still there. And in the end, now, but the guys that like, look, man, I've been a sports writer for the better part of 2 decades. And if you turned in some shit like that back in the day, you lose your fucking job. I mean,
Dude, that's what I'm talking about.
I used to cover Big 12 football, and if I didn't know everything about every team, I wouldn't have made it 10 minutes.
Hey, I want to know who's paying the Athletic to smear Oklahoma. That's what I want to know.
But you know the narrative. If you do
The
that,
USAID, who is it?
Well, sometimes negative publicity is the best publicity to some people because they know people are going to go crazy. They're going to respond. They're going to tweet this and that, and it makes them look good. Hate to say that, but it's a bunch of BS and everything. And Jason, as an analyst, man, you have to get shit straight before you just put it out there.
We're in such a hurry to be the first. Like, we don't even care if the shit is real or not.
Well,
like, I just want to be first.
When you do a piece, you'll write it, take a day or two off and everything. You don't finish it all, but then things change. But instead of you going back and changing your shit, you'll just still put it out there knowing that half that shit ain't even true. But you still put it out there anyway. And I never understood that and everything, man. Be accurate on your shit and everything because it does tend to offend people. And it's not the correct narrative when you put it out there. So I was laughing at this shit, man, because if Oklahoma didn't make no changes, I could see that. But they made a lot of changes, staff wise as well. So you have to implement that into your article on what's going to happen going forward.
That's why I brought it up. You look at what Arbuckle's done. I mean, you could look at the last 2 years. They were in the top 30, top 20 in every major category that mattered over the last 2 years. And he's got one quarterback that people are actually starting to talk about whether or not Cam is going to be the number one or it's going to be Shedeur. It's going to be one of the two. And then you've got Mateer, who had 44 touchdowns last year. 44. He had more than anybody in the country. Now, I understand he was playing in the Mountain West for the most part, right? But even if, let's just say you cut it, let's go crazy and say you cut that shit in half.
Okay.
That's still over 20 touchdowns.
Yeah. Look, Jackson was fumbling the ball when nobody was hitting him. So, I mean, I don't know how you compare the two. I think that one's well more elevated than the other one. One hasn't really, I don't want to say he hasn't gotten there yet, but he hasn't, the success that he had in high school hasn't matched up with what he has offered or done right now, if that makes sense. So material coming in. He's done it at high level.
Right.
Now, if Jackson goes to Auburn and doesn't do it, then what's the narrative?
If he goes to Auburn and
Well,
doesn't do it,
hey man, look, I can't say when because I don't know. He might go there and
oh
ball out, but
Lord, yeah, I don't think so.
hey,
Dude, the
I just
dude's
gotta be
hearing
honest, man.
voices and ghosts and shit, tiptoes behind him. The dude has happy feet, and that is a prime example. Look, I don't think it's all his fault. I'm not going to sit here and act like it's all his fault, and I'm not trying to kill the kid, but I'll tell you this: he wasn't good. He wasn't good in a number of games where, look, and the reason that I would tell you that the reason that he looked decent against Alabama is because he threw the ball 11 times. He didn't have to do anything. That was a different game plan, and it worked because look at what we saw the week before that.
Do you guys think that Alabama came in there wanting him to throw and was surprised that they ran the ball so well?
I mean, I don't know how you could come in and watch Oklahoma's game and want him to throw the ball anywhere. Like if that was their thought, they all need to be fired because you should have loaded the box
He
and
fumbled
dared him to
every
throw.
game. He had a fumble in every game
Yeah.
that he played at Oklahoma. Every game.
I mean, he just like he was one dimensional.
Except for that one. Except for the
He was
Bama
one-
game. He had a
one
fumble in every game. Not always were they.
He fumbled it and got it back against Alabama one time. But
Did he fumble it against Alabama?
Yeah.
I think he recovered it
He
himself.
recovered it. He
Oh,
recovered it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Tatum was the one that lost his.
Yeah. But like if you expect like Jackson Arnold in Oklahoma to throw the ball, like that's ridiculous. I can't even fathom that. Like watching that and see how all the games played out like that'd be ridiculous. Maybe I need to get into coaching.
Yeah. Listen, it's just wild to me though. I mean, that you would say they brought in John Mateer, the number 2 overall player in the portal, but that's not enough to make up for everything else.
Yeah, but they're just talking about players. They didn't talk about
Coaches.
They didn't talk about coaching. Like that's a force multiplier. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's not, you know what I mean? That the offensive coordinator and the quarterback are force multipliers. That makes everybody better, right? And it has an effect throughout the team.
Absolutely.
Right? And like again, lazy by the Athletic.
Lazy by the Athletic, but a lot lazy by the Athletic. I was just, it blew me away, man. It really did. It blew me away that it would be that little, going into it. They're just trying to throw it together. And yes, they added this, they added that. I mean, when you go back and look at the entirety of what they're talking about, it's like, okay, well, but what else? What else you got? Because I don't see it. I mean, look, even like, and not to badmouth Nick Anderson, right? I don't know what happened there. I love Nick Anderson. I love the Anderson family. Rodney was a bad dude when he was here too. Maybe he was really hurt the whole way through it. I'm not going to sit here and say he wasn't. But I know this. He's been hurt more than he's not been hurt at Oklahoma. He missed most of the first season that he was here as well. Same deal, injuries. He was hurt all last season. How you are going to take, that's a net positive that he's a top player and you can expect that for him going to LSU. How do you just expect that they're going to be healthy if they haven't been healthy? Right? Even if it was 1 year, he hasn't been healthy. So they're coming in there and they're saying, oh yeah, at LSU, he's going to light it up. And maybe he does. But to say that they brought up the fact that, okay, you had either FCS or Group of 5, a bunch of the guys that they brought in. Take a look at Keontez Lewis. Keontez Lewis had a big year last year. So did Giovanni Gibson, had a monster year last year. That, and the things that they do, like the route running that you see from Giovanni, watch his film, folks. Watch his damn film, because that translates. 6'3", running a 4.5 at 215, that translates anywhere you go.
Yep.
And you had another guy in Sategna, he played at Arkansas and had a hell of a year. He only had the one touchdown, but he had over almost 600 yards or whatever it was. I had it up here just a second ago. I'll pull it up right now.
Shit, the one play that sticks out, I probably
491 yards. He averaged 13.3.
That dude.
Huh?
I said the what I'm thinking of that one touchdown he had is the play when they say Satani's name is when he went up and mossed that dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. 37 receptions, 491, averaging 13.3 a catch. He only had the one touchdown. It was 58 yards. But, man, the dude, and look, let's not act like Arkansas was very fucking good, because they weren't. They weren't. And so, but I mean, this is a guy that played in the SEC. He's a player. He's ready to go.
So that athletic article, all they talked about was offense, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. And that's the thing. Why would you be falling when? And they did bring up Deshaun McCullough and how that's not good for the defense or whatever. But like, you're acting like Deshaun. Look, Deshaun. Being honest about it, Deshaun was never the leader of that defense. The game against Texas, everybody will always remember that because of him having he was basically in on every tackle on that goal line stand. Every one of them. And he's a dog. There's no two ways around it. The dude is a dog. I think he's going to be really good if he can stay healthy and not be out of position, kind of like where he was here, right? In the end, the bottom line is that it's just reality. Look, the dude he didn't move the needle when it came to that defense, though, this past season. He played in 5 games. He had 17 total tackles, only 10 of them unassisted.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, where's Marvin Jones Jr. Stack up in that?
I don't know. He was a 5-star. Nobody cares about that shit. Yeah.
But I just.
Yeah, I think that, really, if you think about, even though he wasn't, I wouldn't look at, what he did last year at Florida State as earth-shattering or anything like that. He had 5 sacks. He's probably he's got to be better than that to be in the NFL. But body-wise, he's a dog. He looks like that guy. Would I take him over Deshaun? Probably. Just look at it. He doesn't have a big injury history. Now, he hasn't. Look, you ask the people at Georgia, they're not going to say a lot of good things about him, right? But he wasn't an edge rusher. Deshaun wasn't a pure edge rusher. That's what he is. And it's not. And here's the other thing. I think that that's an addition to Oklahoma. But it's probably going to be a gravy addition, because I think that the guys that you have on the edges, aside from him, are going to. RSJ, not RSJ. Sorry, our Mason Thomas, and then of course you've got Danny Okoye is biting at the bit to get in there. We're hearing a lot of good things about PJ putting on weight and looking like a dog right now. Hoping that he stays healthy. He's going to get more of an opportunity, obviously. But you look at Danny Okoye, you look at, there's a lot of these dudes that just look really good. Hell, I've heard a lot of stuff about Taylor Wine getting after it lately. And that's not even talking about some of the other guys that they got coming in. The defensive line I think it's probably one of the best, if not the best in the country.
At least top
defense interior for sure.
At least top 3 for sure.
Interior wise for sure, but I'm saying the chances are that it could be that all the way up and down that line. There's so many guys that look like they could be that good, right?
Yeah, we just got to figure out that other side, opposite of RMT, and figure out who that's going to be, and if that person shows up and makes an impact, you could 100% probably give best in the nation to that group up front. Shout out Coach Bates and Coach Chavis, man. Dudes are amazing.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, Go ahead, Coach Ricks. I know you're in there kind of chatting it up with them, but give us some of what you're thinking on all that, on all this stuff too.
Well, I mean, no, I was going to answer what that. I mean, it's hard for Sammy to leave Clemson. His dad's on staff. He's not leaving Clemson. I mean, that's no matter how much he loves Wes. I mean, his dad's on staff. I don't know if there was a package deal or what, but he's not going to leave. But there are some things in the works to where Wes is on the East Coast trying to get some guys and everything from different locations and everything, man, to at least take a visit to Oklahoma. We were talking about it a few nights ago at a coach's clinic. My brother-in-law was there, and he was saying that there's going to be some movement here in the next few months with Oklahoma trying to go into some of the backwoods of ACC and get some talent. We got Man Jr. was that from Florida State that we got?
Yeah, Marvin Jones Jr.
Marvin Jones Jr. There are some more guys and everything, man, that he's looking at. But I think that Wes is not going to be like BV. I don't think he really has that same admiration for Dabo that Brent has, and Brent still has it. Brent still has that love
He
for
does,
Dabo.
but he didn't get fired by Dabo either.
True, and that's why we was talking about it a few nights ago at the coaching clinic because everybody has this Oklahoma thing in their mouth, man, on the East Coast. I don't know why that's the big topic. I don't know because if it's BV or whatever, but
Let me ask you a question real quick.
yes.
While you're bringing that up, do you think it may have to do with the fact that I think that there's this thing that there's some people in the SEC that don't want to see him succeed.
They don't. They
Because
want him to be on their
if they
staff
get
somehow,
good,
some way.
what are they going to do about him whenever they get all the way to where he thinks they should be defensively and they add an offense to it?
It's going to be the oh shit moment because there's nothing that you can do. You pretty much messed up. And my brother-in-law was like, he thought that might have been the final piece is Wes going there. They always heard about him going. They just didn't know when. A lot of people here feel like Dabo stuck it to him by keeping him on staff as long as he did past the 5-day period. So when he left, nobody else could go with him, which was kind of shitty. But to get on the topic, man, with this athletics, man, I think a lot of people do not want BB to succeed. They know what type of great mind he is on defense, getting the players that he needs, getting the players that he wants. It's going to be a scary thing, man, if he gets this thing figured out. If he gets this figured out, it's going to be a scary ass situation because I've never seen a coaching staff this damn good. At every area, every angle, every position, it's a key name that everybody knows. We don't see guys just leaving because they're pissed. They don't see guys leaving because they're unhappy. We see guys leaving because they can't get on the freaking field because they're so deep. So I don't know, man. I'm just looking forward to seeing people react when he does get it figured out. I think this is the year. I said earlier in the comments, no one understands how the ACC works better than West. Top number one recruiter for the last 4 years. So he knows what to go look for. He knows, and now him having that OU logo on his chest and in the SEC, that means something. So we're just going to see what happens now.
Yeah, I really do think though that I think a lot of it is that this narrative is going around that they are worried about it because if he gets his feet underneath him and makes that next step as a CEO, whatever you want to call it, and make no mistake, I've been saying this and I'm going to say it again. Unless they completely the wheels fall off this year, he ain't going nowhere. Even if it was 7-5, 6-6, he ain't going nowhere. Now, if it's 5-7, 4-8, yeah, they're not going to pay the man $35 million to not coach here. They're not going to do it.
I got one better, Jason. If every game is competitive down to the last play, something happened drastically, you can't get rid of that because then that means you're right there. You're not using that Lincoln Riley shit. Oh, we're almost there. You are there because You're doing this in the SEC, which is supposed to be the best. Well, let's just.
It is the best.
I get tired of people saying, "Oh, the Big Ten." The Big Ten got lucky
Oh,
and
fuck
won it
that.
one time
Come on.
last year and this year. Okay, if it wasn't for the damn matchups of some of them games, you would have had an SEC championship, an SEC champion in that game. But to furthermore go into this detail, I think a lot of people want him to fail because they feel like if he fails, then he might just walk away from football. And I don't see that happening no time soon. So, but yeah,
That or they're thinking that they can get him to be their DC, you know?
he's not going to be a DC no more. I think once he retire, once he gets done with OU, whenever that is, I think he's done.
Yeah.
I think it becomes family then.
But I think it's just such a lazy narrative. All the whole thing about, I mean, you don't dip into any of that. You don't talk about the fact that I was talking to, who I was talking to was the professor from High Top Sports the other day.
Yep.
And he's saying, he goes, shit, the dude has been a coordinator in 10 national championship games. 10.
Yeah.
He goes, what are we talking about?
Some people can't even get to the championship game. Some of them can't even sniff it.
Yep.
Right?
Sniff
I mean,
okay, solve it like this. I'm gonna ask both of you guys a question. Solve it like this. What team would not want him as a defensive coordinator?
oh, come on.
There's Penn State,
Zero.
maybe.
Huh?
Penn State, maybe.
I guarantee you, if they would have had a choice to get BV or Jim Knowles, BV would have got that.
I'm saying like if I was under the
gotcha.
assumption like if he
Like
was to be
now,
fired
at the moment?
next year,
Gotcha.
or like to be fired next year, like and because they probably can't get out of the Knowles contract anyway, so they'd be the only team probably not interested.
But
They
Who's
just
in here voting 9-12? Come on, I bet that's somebody that ain't even talking. I
I
got the
don't
poll in
understand
there.
why it's the issue, Jason. This is what OU fans wanted. When we hired BV, the first thing we said was, "Oh, the defense is coming along with it." Now that he's gonna be calling plays, why are we not cool with that? 'Cause I'm cool with it.
The only reason why they're not cool with that, and we had this discussion, what was it, last week, is because they don't think he's made a lot of coaching mistakes as head coach, and they don't want him to be distracted to calling plays because I think his in-game coaching decisions is going to suffer from it.
But people forget that, Matt Wells was essentially stepping in as the head coach when he was calling plays last, whenever Ted Roof was still, the quote unquote DC. He was calling plays, then he would go meet with the defense, and then Matt Wells would kind of step in and run that offense until he was done doing that, and then he'd come back over there and whatever. But because Levy wasn't on the sideline, right? In the end, I think I don't think it mattered whether or not you got Knowles or not. He still had to show that he was going to make that improvement. And the truth is, maybe you don't worry about that and just offensively, I'm going to let you run this whole thing. You're down here anyway. Do what you think needs to be done. If you need it okayed for me, I'm right here on the radio. Yeah, go. Or no. If I got a real problem with us going for it in a certain situation, fine. But you should be able to handle the clock. You're the offensive coordinator. Do it. I don't think it's that hard.
No. And again, like, show me huge blunders that cost him games to warrant the criticism of BV's in-game coaching. I need to see it.
Well, I think you'd have to look back to the year before.
Again,
I told you about the Ole Miss thing. I wasn't enamored at all whatsoever with the calling a timeout on 4th and 4 and not going for it at the end of the third when you're down 10. If you're going to make
a mistake?
Is it a mistake? At least partly, yes.
How? Explain
it. Because you burned a timeout that you may need to try to go
make
win
a decision.
Either way,
make a decision if you're going to go for
a decision that you didn't need to burn that timeout, but you could have taken a fucking penalty to punt.
You talking about the Ole Miss game?
Yes.
Yeah.
What do the bubbles come out of your mouth for?
I just thought it's got bigger thumbs up. It's AI. It's AI.
I mean, I guess if you want, you could look at it like that, but I just don't. I don't see that as a mistake. You know, I think he took the time out to talk with his staff and figure out if they wanted to go for it or not. And it may have been a bad decision, but is it a mistake? I
Well,
don't
it
A bad
it
decision for a
depends on
coach.
how you look at it.
Just hold on.
know.
A bad decision for a coach is if you use all your fucking timeouts and you have none left
Yeah, yeah,
down the
that's
line,
what I'm talking
then
about.
you have no. Then that's a bad decision right there.
Or
But
you
it's not
don't
a great
use them in the
decision.
correct spot,
Yeah. Yes.
right?
Right, but it
Don't take them
wasn't
home with
used
you.
in the correct. So I mean, you used a timeout to punt.
Yeah.
You used a timeout to
Well,
punt. Because
yeah,
the reason I think it's a mistake, this is what I'm gonna say. The reason I call it a mistake is if you were gonna do that, you could have let the fucking clock run out and taken the penalty and still punted.
yeah, but then they wouldn't have been able to go for it if they chose to go for it because they got moved back 5 yards.
But here's the coach, Big Mike, and you know this. If I know I'm close, I already know if I'm gonna go or not.
Yeah,
Right.
And that
That's
way,
the
I don't
biggest
want to burn a turnout. So if I run my third down play to get, if it's 3rd and 9, I want to
yeah.
get it where at least it's 4th and 3. If
Mhm.
I get to 4th and 3, I'm already going for it.
What was the down and distance?
It
What was
was
Um,
fourth and
it?
it was
it,
4th and 4, but I'll say this,
4th and 4,
that was probably their most for
bad
the
spot.
second half, that was probably their most doable 3rd, 4th down that they'd had the entire second half,
Yeah,
to be quite
they could
honest.
have got that. They
And
could
at
have got
that
that.
point, you're down 10. I wouldn't have had an issue whatsoever, and I see what you're saying here, Kimberly K. I hear the concern, but nobody's saying he needs a babysitter. I'm saying I think that you need a situation where if he's going to be calling the defense and he's going to have to go work with the defensive guys and talk about what just happened while they were on the field, fine. Let Mateer do his thing. And
Yeah.
I think that that's fine. But I think that the main thing, I think a lot of this stuff, you should have it worked out in your head, like Coach Ricks just said. If we're on 3rd and 7, I want us to get down to 4th and 4, 4th and 3, and we're going for the shit. And to me, I don't have a problem necessarily that you don't go for it there because you were on your own 30, 35, right? That's not a great idea to do that more times than not. But at some point, you're going to have to make a decision to go down and get a score because you're down 10 already. So if you're down 10 already and you burn a timeout, chances are you're going to need that timeout later on when you do have to go for it to set up a play. To me, if you call a timeout, get your best play out there.
Well, it's going to be solved this year. The reason being is this: it's going to be out of his hand. It's going to be Arbuckle. If we get 4th and 3, I got to play. We going for it.
Yeah.
You ain't got. We didn't have a true OC last year. We had guys on the job training, and they got down there and they're looking at the BV like, hey, what do you want to do? You the freaking OC. If it's 4th and 4, give me a play that can get that what we need, or let's just punt it. This tit for tat is what cost us last year, and it mainly went on BV because we didn't have a true OC. If I'm an OC and you
No
give me
doubt.
complete control of the offense, I know when it's time to punt. I know when it's time to go for it.
Hey, BV has that guy that Marcus Freeman has. If you watch the games, there's a dude that's always, I don't know his name. There's a cat that's always behind him,
Oh,
and he's the analytics guy. He's there.
what's his name?
I don't
Shit.
know his name, but he's there.
I forgot it too.
Oh, I know
He's
it.
there.
I know it. Yes,
In any
he's
event, these are
He's
things
there.
that can be worked out beforehand. That situationally, because you do work all that shit out situationally, right? And yeah, I know you're not. I get that. I get that. I believe that he's coming around, and I'm to some extent, I say I agree with what you're saying. It wasn't like it was terrible decision making. It was more not executing and bad
Yeah,
play calling.
like
Right?
there's no like that timeout scenario that you're coming up with is like that's nitpicking in my opinion, right? Like, and I brought this up before. Like, I'm talking about like negligence. Like we're letting the clock run down and we got timeouts to use. Like,
And we're not
for
using them.
instance, I used this last time. Like the Chicago Bears did it a couple times this season, right?
Right.
Not calling timeouts and shit. Like, that's negligent. That's what I'm talking about. Now, if those things are happening, yes, we got all the right to bitch and complain about it and say BV's not doing well. But to my knowledge, I haven't seen anything that egregious happen.
Right. I think more than anything, I agree with you. I know what you're saying there. And I think where I'm at is a lot of it is that the look that it gives, right? That like the incompetence. There's some people that are already, they're going to stay on that. They're incompetent. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He's not the guy.
They're
right?
haters.
I'm aware. But the point being is that when you see things like that, and you saw it in the Okie Light game, you saw it in the Kansas game, and a lot of those things I would put on Levy more than I would have put on BV necessarily. But there were some things that went down that you haven't seen him make the decision that or at least make it confidently and say, let's go. I don't care if you fail there necessarily. But in my opinion, like the biggest reason I think that particular instance was a mistake was this. That offense looked pretty good in the first half. It hadn't done shit all year really, and it certainly hadn't done shit in the second half. And by doing that, by calling that timeout, you're making the offense think, okay, we're going to come out with a play.
Yeah.
Coach V trusts us here. When you send the punt team out there, you told them you didn't. And that, I think, was a mistake. I think that they needed a vote of confidence from their head coach right there. And him not knowing what he wanted to do didn't allow him to think that way.
Hey.
And maybe he wasn't confident in him, not to say that he should have been. I'm just saying. You know what I mean?
As a OC, your job is to make sure that you have plays and everything ready. So when the coach asks you, you're already there. Stop wondering about what you might call, and what you need to call is what you will call. I take a lot of that shit was on Joe John and Seth all last year, because they had no idea what they were going to run.
I agree.
And then when it came time to pick something, BV had to say, what the hell are we going to do? And then burn timeouts, do this and do that. I really believe, as a true OC, your job is to have a game plan implemented to where any scenario happens, you have a call for it. If you can't do that at the college level, you should not be a freaking OC. Period. You have plays there in case of emergencies. You have plays there for 10 yards out. You have plays there for mid 5, 6, 7 yards. Then you have plays for 4th and 2 and 3. You have those plays.
The 2-point conversion plays. You got
2-point conversion, your trick plays, your fake punt. You have all this. You mean tell me that you can't pick any of that shit out to get 2 or 3 yards? That's what I'm saying. So I believe Arbuckle has the command of the offense to say, this is what we're going to do. Big Game Bob got that name mainly because of Kevin Wilson, Chuck Long. I mean, no, is it Chuck Long or Jeff Long?
Chuck Third and Long, wasn't it?
It was Chuck Long. And
yeah, Chuck Third and Long.
And then Heupel. So he had guys that had command of the offense, so it made Bob look good. Bob did have the headsets on. He did have the final say so on certain plays, but the plays were already in.
Mm-hmm.
How many times OU huddle up last year?
They don't huddle. They didn't huddle. They don't do that.
So the plays have to already be there. If you huddle, then that means there's no play. You're trying to find the perfect play. If you have a no huddle offense, the plays are already there. You just got to give it to the quarterback.
Yeah, listen, and you know that they do. There's these guys, some of them have these huge ass lists, right?
Yes.
Now, I don't think that Arbuckle's going to be that. I mean, we just saw Andy Reid has a fucking menu on it in front of him. You know what I mean? Looks like he's eating. But
Arbuckle's like Lincoln. He has a pizza.
Yeah, he's got a small. But somewhere in your little index card or whatever the fuck you have what are the plays that we want to run in 2 minutes? What are the plays that we want to run down by the goal line? What are the plays that we want to run in plus and minus territory at certain down and distances? They know what the hell they're doing, and that's that. Well, I don't know that Seth and Joe John did, because I don't think they did. But I know that a guy like Arbuckle better have that. And in the end, I mean, I don't know, man. To me, I don't know that I care if BV necessarily becomes the guy that makes that decision all the time. He doesn't have to necessarily, but you better don't hold up the person doing it then.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right because if you, I want to make this easy, man, because I don't want to speak to the point to where people don't understand is that we have the arm charts. I have an arm chart. I don't want to carry anything around because I'm too hype on the sideline. I have my plays on my wrist, and I can run 9, 10 plays out of the same scheme, just different formation.
And that's exactly what these guys do. The air raid guys do that. And that included Mike Leach. He had 6 fucking plays that he had. And now he ran it out of 5 different formations.
So I'm gonna show you the same look,
Yeah.
but it won't be nothing what you just saw.
Yeah, no.
I want to see what you're going to do and how you respond to that.
Right. And people talk about how Sark, everybody loves Sark and the way he does things. Now, I think he's a script guy. But one thing that you've heard people talk about is that when something works, he'll run it again and run a different look out of that same play. Or, you might have one little difference or whatever, right?
He
But
loves setting guys in motion to see if the linebacker or the, as we want to call it, cheetah is going to go with him or go across the field. And when he does, he goes to the back door where that guy just left.
I like that same look stuff, and especially like if you can catch a defense,
you're building off of it.
defense
Yes.
with the
Yes.
wrong personnel, and you
Yep.
can stay in that. You can stay in that personnel on the offensive side and go and
Yes.
exploit. Them maybe with 3 linebackers in instead of having a cover guy. Like I like that. I like that.
That's
like
when
that.
you get back on the line right now, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Whenever
you're not allowing them to
you've
sub
got them in a
because you
mismatch
don't have to
situation
sub.
and you want to keep them there. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you don't have to sub because you got multiple. You got versatile players. You can put a back out there and split them out, and make a linebacker that probably is not very good at cover them. Things like that, and keep the defense in that personnel grouping, and still be able to run your offensive personnel grouping wise.
Well,
Yeah.
bro, that's what Eichert was always talking about is building off of your base stuff. And and I've talked to Coach Ricks about this before. You've got your base plays, but you're trying to build a playbook off of that. You're trying to build a game plan off of that.
Yeah.
Based off of what you're doing. So you're mixing up some things. Go ahead, Coach.
No, I was just gonna say you keep it basic. I'm gonna give somebody a little jewel. When we want to run something and I send guys in motion, they know how to do it. Roxanne, which everybody knows what Roxanne and everything is, we're gonna go right and everything. But we would do Roxanne 31 and Roxanne went, it canceled it out. And then we go 31 dive. But the guys on the defense see here, Roxanne, oh, they going right, but they don't hit the 31 dive. And then we go right where that guy just left. Because I got a guy going in motion for a fake jet sweep. That linebacker moves, and we hit 31 dive and kill their ass every single time. But you have to implement training on how to do this. And we know these guys practice a lot. We know these guys know the playbook inside and out. But when your OC is not competent and doesn't have confidence in calling something, it's going to trickle down to the players. Because now they're going to be like, okay, what are we doing? What are we doing? So just run the damn plays. So just be basic at first. You be basic to set up what you have implemented.
Well,
Don't implement
your
it and
base
then try to be
plays. Well,
basic.
I didn't
Yes,
necessarily basic, but it's your base.
your
We
base
build
formation, base
everything
team.
off of the counter or not the counter. You're going to build it off of either the stretch or the inside zone or whatever in today's game, right?
Hey,
But you may build off of that because that's your staple play. But you build different stuff off of that, right?
yeah, Shorty is so correct. Yeah, a very effective 12 personnel is dangerous, but it's dangerous when you're under center. You can't be in a shotgun or a pistol on
Bro,
a 12 personnel
preach this, please.
because that is a determining factor to where you can eliminate a lot of this A and B blitzing in the gaps. Because if you blitz an A and B gap on the 12 personnel, that tight end is going to kill your ass all day across the middle because there's nobody there. So I'm just hoping, man, that Arbuckle, I know he does, but this is just basic stuff that we're talking about right here. This is basic stuff. 12 personnel, everyone thinks that you can run. That's a running formation. That's a tight end's best friend.
Let me tell you something, man. Look at the New England Patriots when they
Thank
ran
you.
they were killing motherfuckers, bro.
Hey, Grunk,
Killing,
and
killing.
before old prison felon.
Yeah,
we,
it was murdering people for that stuff.
hey, but if you have a quarterback that doesn't mind going under center, you know who runs the best play action in the college in NFL right now? To me, Baker runs it better than anybody.
Of course.
He
No,
runs it better than
they get
anybody
under
because
center.
when he fakes and comes around, there's nobody there. You have 4 or 5 seconds before anybody notices that the ball did not get handed off. You can't do that in a pistol or a shotgun.
Trojan baseball. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did Arbuckle go under center a few times? Not only did he go under center a few times last year, he went into jumbo sets last
60% of the time he goes under center.
He doesn't give a shit. He loves being under center. He doesn't care. Look, this guy, he may have a little bit bigger of a play card in hand, but probably not, because here's what he'll do. He'll have certain plays for that week for that opponent.
Yep.
It's going to work for you. But he is not married to this offense. He's not married to the spread, the air raid. He's not married to any of it. And that I love. You got to do what's best for him. And look, man, running from under center, I was saying preach, because damn it, you get them going downhill before they get the football.
Yes. Look.
Here's what I know Arbuckle does, and here's what I really like, right? As an offensive coordinator and as an offensive staff, you have to watch your opponent's previous games, right? And you have to recognize what they struggle with defending, right? Whether or not, this outside zone is hitting, right? Or they're having trouble with this route concept.
No shit.
You have to make sure that defenses are correcting their deficiencies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it would be negligent, man, of an offensive coordinator to not throw in, a play that's been gashing this defense, or maybe they had trouble with last week against somebody. Like, you got to check that, man. You got to check on that learning, right? You got to check that D coordinator and that team and make sure they fix that, because why, like, let's run it. If it's working, run it. We'll run our own version of it.
Mike,
that's football 101 right there.
You hit it on the head, Mike. Damn it.
Yeah, that's easy, man. That's easy. Trust me, I know about that when I played defense, because we used to get our ass gashed all the time sometimes. And it felt like we was working on the same play the whole damn year.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Hell yeah.
Do people not understand how Oklahoma got gashed last year? Because the same shit that gave us problems, teams ran against us and did it. So if I know for a fact that you have a problem covering the flats, I'm gonna run zig routes all damn day and have you fake inside, and then have my tight end or my slot guy going back outside, to where now you got to cover him left or right. That's hard if you cannot cover the flats. But it has to be in the I formation, man. And I think I'm so excited about Arbuckle doing that this year, because that I formation it's going to open up the run game too, because now you can't blitz the A and B gap. You can't contain outside containment, because you don't know if that tight end does a chip block and then releases. Now the defensive end is in no man's land, because is he going to go with the tight end? Is he going to try to rush the quarterback? And if you do, the flats are wide open. So you have to be able to run the I formation, or be under center to make this effective. So I'm excited, man. Shit.
Like, I'm gonna go back to my point that I made earlier. this year coming up in the Red River, like you can guarantee it that Sarkisian in Texas is going to run that outside zone.
Oh yeah,
Because they gashed us right there at the end of the half on that, and they had
Amen.
success in that play. They are going to run that and say, "Let's see if you guys improved." You know what I mean?
you know how to
They're
stop
going to
the
run that.
outside zone, Mike. You
Yeah,
know how to stop that. Don't blitz your damn ends.
yeah. Well, you got to set an edge.
Set the edge and just wait. Hold
Yeah,
that man ass up and just look. He's coming. And
yeah.
then you throw his ass
We
off and go get it.
we overran our pursuit. We overran on that guy a couple of times, and we didn't tackle very well. And they might have caught us in a probably had some cats that was out there on the edge playing that hadn't usually played, and that dude did make a tackle, but
Yeah.
I think that dude jumped on the portal if I remember correctly.
Well, and I think, yeah, Bendejo asks, I love this name, by the way, Bendejo.
Bendejo. Bendejo.
That's hilarious. Does anyone know all the OCs Venables was considering was Arbuckle his top choice? I think he was his top choice. We were hearing about the Tulane guy as well a lot. I think that they were both in consideration. I think his actual top choice was Dan Mullen, but I don't think that was ever going to happen.
No.
So it was, that's a wishing upon a star that you can, because that's a guy that sent a bunch of fucking quarterbacks into the first round and been one of the best in the country for a long time. Dan Mullen's one of the few, he's one of there's like 15 guys in the history of the SEC that have more than 100 wins as a head coach. So getting a guy like that would have been great, right? But as far as young talent is concerned in this game, Ben Arbuckle is right up there at the top of everybody's mental Rolodex or whatever you want to call it. Their list of guys that are the up-and-comers, right? Those dudes that you expect, they're going to be a head coach before long. There's guys like, obviously Will Stein's in that group. Young guy as well, at Oregon doing his thing. Obviously, what's his name down there at Tulane as well. Same thing. But I think that, Ben Arbuckle, he's immediate, and it's been quickly that he's been on the scene because he's been doing this for now 3 years. And in 3 years' time, hell, 4 years ago, he was a high school coach.
Yeah.
So, but I think somebody else said down here too that, one of the things is you got to look that it was just him. It wasn't just him that he was bringing. He ended up bringing his quarterback coach that worked for him at Washington State and the quarterback. So I think it was done intentionally for sure. Right.
Yeah.
So, but as far as, and then there was this other one that, do you think he'll communicate with BV and the defense about what he sees that would hurt or burn certain defenses or schemes? I think that that's something that they talk about in meetings a lot. These guys, I would hope that BV would be doing that with the offensive guys. Hey, this is what beats a defense like this. As a head coach, this is what you should be doing, right? Making that connection.
Here's a question for you. Maybe you guys know. Is he going to be up in the booth? Is he going to be up in the booth or on the field?
He's a field guy.
That's what I thought.
He's a field guy.
No, I didn't advocate to run no damn jet sweeps. I was just making a statement. But if you're going to run jet sweeps,
you better build off that fucker. You better build. Hey, if you're going to run
mind hurt being in the 12 personnel doing that shit.
Yes, I love that. And the other thing would be there better be a vertical element with that where you can pull that ball out of that boy's belly and throw it down the field.
You know what I seen before, Jason? 12 personnel, pistol.
They may not have had very good tight ends again.
I know if I just did the same thing. Yeah. And they faked the jet sweep and did a pitch out to the running back. Running back had because the corner came all the way across, following the damn wide receiver that came in motion, and then you pitch it to the tailback. He ran all outside, and that defensive end chimed down. Now that linebacker has to run all the way to the left to catch that damn running back. He got 15 yards.
I always think of it like that. Yeah, and I love that because I think of this basketball. I played basketball growing up, loved the game, right? And you set guys up for later in the game. If you're always going right, then you fake that move to the right and go left, you're probably going to be open for a jumper or something. You know what I mean? It always is about that. Every game that you play, it's always chess, not checkers, right? You're trying to set them up for later in the game. And so if you're building a certain thing and trying to do certain things and establish something early on, then whatever is working, and it may be working pretty well or whatever, they're going to try to stop it. Yep. But you're going to see whenever they make that adjustment, and now you adjust to it and fake that and go the other way. This is what the best play callers do.
Yeah. How many teams play man-to-man in the SEC?
Most of them.
That's what I'm talking about. So when you're in the 12 personnel and you run that, when that man goes in motion, you got to go with him. Only time that jet sweeps don't work is if they're in zone. Because now they're not moving, they're staying in a spot, they're standing in a zone. But if you got teams of man-to-man, you can really be more effective running cross routes. So I'm excited, man. Like I said, I watched a lot of his film, man, and it got some shit in there, man, that surprised me. I wish I was still coaching. I was still some of his play calling.
For real, though. Come on, dog. Come on, dog.
That's funny. These motherfuckers off the chain, bro.
Gotta leave it to rhyme and lemon, bro.
His chin chariot is made for smiles.
Crazy.
Oh, this is fair.
I love my audience. Most of my audience. I love it. Let's go back and I want you to take a look at this poll. Let's see where we're at on this. Where do you believe that they will finish in the SEC? We got 3% of people in here said 13 to 16. They're not the people talking, obviously. I love that. Most people were expecting them to finish in the top 4, 42%. And you've got it's pretty close between 5 and 8 and 9 to 12 at 29 and 26%. So almost half believe that they could finish in the top. I believe that tells you that this is a mostly Oklahoma fan base show that they're in here, but that's fine, right? What
3 teams is going to be above them?
I think that a lot of it would have to do with the fact of the schedule you have to play. But I think that if there's anybody that's going to – the teams that I'm concerned about would be LSU for sure. I think that they have done pretty well in the portal. They added some guys on the edges that should help them out a lot. Harold Perkins is coming back. So is Garrett Nussmeier, obviously. They've got it even without Nick. Whether Nick does anything, those guys come out of the damn swamp at receiver every year. I don't know who it is I don't know who it's gonna be. I know it'll be somebody. Right? This is what they do. Now, does BK pull it all together? I don't know. We haven't seen him do it yet. Right? And they do have to come to Norman. My bigger concerns for this season. Obviously, I think Alabama getting
Alabama's going to be. Hey, they got Grubb back, right? Did you see the shit the article about before changing how shit's going down there? Like, no more showing up late for meetings, no more chains, like no more of that shit. It's not a fashion show. It's all about football. And he's changing. He's changing what's going on down there. Watch out now. That's the worst thing that could happen for anybody. The Bull getting down at Alabama.
Oh, you could be fourth. Oh, you could, yeah. But, and of course, I get it, Texas Chris. I get it. But that's what I'm saying. I think Alabama is going to be right there.
Mm-hmm.
Because, Ryan Grubb coming back, and they've got the other thing is that the quarterback that they're going to be playing, no matter who it is going to be a thrower, more of a thrower than what they have. And they've got, hey, listen, man, when you got Ryan Williams coming back, they're going to be a pain in the ass. And I think that they were good. They didn't lose a ton defensively, and they were getting better on the defensive side throughout the year, right?
No.
I think you got to go to Tuscaloosa too is the other part of it. That's a concern. My other concerning game, I'm not as worried about South Carolina as other people are. I don't think they're that good. I just don't. I listen, I think that I like their quarterback. I like Lenoris. I don't like their coaching staff. I don't. And I think that in tough games, they gag it away more times than they don't. You know, Tennessee worries me because it's at Neyland Stadium. Do I think they're as good as they were last year? I don't.
No,
Do I think Nico will be better than he was last year? Probably. You know, and you got to play at Neyland. Now, one of the things that I said this before, but Coach I and Shawty were like, yeah, it could be hard to play at Neyland if they're playing well, but if you're kicking their ass, it gets quiet.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think that's important. You get Ole Miss at home. I don't think Ole Miss is going to be as good as they were. I know they lost a ton on defense.
They're not paying that much money.
I know damn good and well that Missouri ain't going to be whatever they think that they are. They lost Luther Burden. They lost both receivers and their quarterback, and they're depending on that was the other thing. We were talking about this fucking article from the Athletic, and it's talking about that they moved up as far as their portal because of their portal moves. Why? Who
they get?
No, the main one that he was talking about, the Penn State backup quarterback. The fuck? Sorry, bro. Get it out of here.
Like Penn State offense was okay. Hey, well, if that's the case, they should be up in Oklahoma with their portal moves.
That's not true, Thunder OU Sooner. He did not develop Baker Mayfield or Kyler Murray. Get out of here with that shit. You know better than that. He was the running back coach. Fuck. I know we love to hate Lincoln. Let's not reinvent history, okay? Tell the fucking truth. That's not true.
Yeah, it was a damn good game last night, boy. Damn.
It was. They beat the brakes off of freaking. I loved watching that shit.
I had told somebody at my job, man. I said, man, look, all we keep hearing about is Kansas City, Kansas City, Kansas City. I said, man, they might go in and get their ass blowed out. Oh no. Halftime, he called, man. You right, man. I know football. You can't. You still got to play that shit, regardless of what it looks like on paper. You still got to play. I knew how improved and how important that defensive line was for the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sweat, well, he a problem. He a problem. And they just couldn't.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be an ass whooping like that, but I thought Saquon was going to run a little bit better than that, probably get off a little bit more. But yeah, that was a good night. Good night.
Well, they were so busy trying to take Saquon away that left. They got really good receivers, and people forget about that shit.
Gibson killed him.
Yeah, they were nice, man.
Yeah, they got really good receivers. Shawty was talking about this. He says, because Chris is saying Texas, LSU, and Bama top 3, then OU fighting with Georgia for 4th. I think you're fucking high too, buddy. Texas, what?
I could see that, dude.
He said he want hair follicles. He want hair follicles. He don't want piss.
Damn mind. Dude lost his damn mind. It's crazy. No, it's crazy.
I don't think that's that far off from Chris. I mean,
other than Texas being up there in the top 4, they're not.
They got an easy schedule. Of course, they're going to be up there.
Now that I can understand that, right? That part. It is easy. It's easier. But I'm going to tell you this, though. The Florida game, that's not an easy win for them.
Yeah, but overall, like they got, what, 2 tough games?
No.
Texas A&M?
A&M. Hey, look.
Oklahoma?
I think there's a few that could be a little harder, but they still got to play Georgia. They still got to play Oklahoma.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. But I mean, as of right
Oklahoma's
now,
beating y'all's ass this year. I'm just going to tell you that.
Hey,
I'll just say that part. That
the
part
one
I know.
thing, the one thing they cannot do is continue to run Manning a lot. He took some hits against Georgia, and and
he
and
fumbled.
and,
That was a
and he
fumble,
fumbled
bro.
that one.
Yes,
So
Yeah.
you have no backup. So you're gonna have to protect him a lot better than you. So you had Ewers last year to where you can just throw him in there and whatever. If he gets hurt, y'all screwed. If he gets hurt, somehow, some way, Sark and his quarterbacks, he puts them
Yeah,
in a
don't forget
position
about
where
Vandy.
they get hurt for some reason. They get hurt.
Yeah.
So Ewers
Vandy.
got hurt 2 years straight, was a 3 year straight. And you can't have Manning getting hurt. If he gets hurt, your season is over. Because now you become one dimensional.
Yeah, Texas. Hey, the good point, T Boomer. Texas got to play the fighting Pavias of Vanderbilt.
Y'all crazy.
Hey,
Hey,
look,
man.
they also
Hey,
had to play Georgia, Oklahoma, Ohio State, and Florida in the swamp the week before Oklahoma.
They play
Yeah.
Ohio State.
Yes, game week
hey,
2.
Oh,
I'm not saying that that's gospel. I'm just saying I can see that line of thinking with how he put it, like Texas being up there. I can see that playing out. Now, do I think that? No.
I'm sick of of the automatic. I believe Texas is this and that and this and that because of Sark.
Yeah.
Fuck out
But
of here.
until their schedule changes, or maybe they get that Oklahoma schedule, then we could talk. But like, yeah, man, I don't.
Texas could lose to Vandy though. They could. It's probably not because that one will be in Austin. But they're on the road at Florida. I don't really see them winning that game. They're not beating Oklahoma this year.
Well,
come on.
Hey, in just my opinion, I don't need to be tested, bro. I'm unemployed. I don't got a job. I can do whatever I want, right? So I ain't worried about none of that. I can eat as many gummies. You know what I mean? Whatever. I can do whatever I want.
Hell yeah.
I won't.
Me too.
You said damn hair
I'm
follicle.
not unemployed, but they don't drug test me here.
I get drug tested.
LSU's your favorite to be overrated. Look, I'm not saying that LSU's a guaranteed shoe-in either, though. Here's the thing. One thing we know about BK is he hasn't gotten it done there. He's always got an excuse for it. He hadn't gotten it done.
That is so.
JD, nobody cares what you're saying, bro. Nobody cares. Yep, he knows how to fake accents and choke on big games. Thank you, Ryman. Perfectly done.
And slam.
That South Carolina dark horse stuff. Ian, I just said this. I don't believe in them asses. I don't.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't buy their asses. They don't. Look, when's the last time that Beamer actually won a game that mattered? Because I'm going to tell you, he didn't even do it last year. They won their last 6 games. Okay. Which one of those teams was good? That includes Oklahoma, by the way. They weren't good on offense. They lost big to Ole Miss at home. They lost to LSU at home, and they lost to freaking Alabama too. All that bullshit talk about them being next in line to get one of those? Nah. What's up there, Coach Smook? I'm not buying South Carolina, bro. Just not doing it. Oh, check him out. He's got him a new whatever you call it. Coach Smook's got him a new logo. Like it. What's up, dog? Whoa. I have a question related to what you're talking about. Of the 5 and 3 SEC teams, how would you rank the coaches going into the 2025 season? Out of those, pretty easy.
5-3.
We're talking Ole Miss, South Carolina, and Bama. DeBoer, Kiffin, way behind B. Beamer. Come on, man.
Man, this is Beamer's first good year.
They were
This
better.
was it.
I
mean, but to be significantly better this year, this was their best year.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, here they go. Here they go.
Who's?
People in the comments.
It's Oklahoma. You should have stayed in the Big 12.
J-Day's a chump, dude. Nobody cares about what that fool says. Chump.
Oh my god, that's funny.
He's a chump. He's always been a chump. He gonna stay a chump. Talks a bunch of bullshit, never has anything to back it up. But that's, hey, Texas ain't won in so long. You gotta have to expect it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all good, man.
Yeah.
Y'all have your little moment.
Yeah, because they won't last long. Enjoy it while you can. When Sark crashes back to Earth and becomes the guy that he always was, don't say we didn't tell you so. I love the narratives, though. It makes me laugh. They have had this cake-ass schedule that, but everybody's just assuming that, they're going to be great. It's going to be great. Fuck out of here. I ain't buying it. I am not buying it.
All right. Hey, I'm about to get up out of here. I got to go to Costco.
You got to bounce?
Yeah, I got to go get some groceries.
All right, bro. Well, have a good one. Enjoy the day.
Hey, Big Mike, hey, don't let them tell you, man, about your beard and getting tested. Tell them to kiss your ass.
Bro, hey, I'm not. Hey, listen, man, say what you want, bro. My shit looking nice, bro. I took it as compliments.
We're all clean, bro. We're all fresh and so clean right
you
now.
know what? I can't even grow my beard, man. So damn y'all.
I never knew I was capable of this because I had never been able to grow it out like this.
Yeah, in military, you can't. Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah,
gotta
I'm like shocked.
face.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I got stubby hairs, and I'm like, damn that. I don't like it. So, but anyway, man. Hey, you guys have a wonderful one, man. Thanks for letting me come on.
Hey, man. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, man. All right, bro. Holler.
No problem, man. Y'all guys have a good one, man.
All right, man. Have a good one.
All right, bye.
Later. Thanks to Coach Riggs for coming in. Make sure you guys get over there and sub to his channel if you haven't already. He's putting out good content all the time. So make sure you do that. I think we may end up getting Dent in here. He just sent me a thing to send him.
Send him the link, bro.
I sent it to him, bro.
Yeah.
I sent it to his ass. He read it. He should be here any moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. He said he had some meetings and stuff this morning, though, and he was just getting back. So.
Yeah, he been MIA, bro. Where's he been?
7-on-7s this weekend. They had some shit going on in Dallas.
Yeah.
There's no hate on that jaw cloak. It's jaw cloak. Oh, that's some funny shit. Neelio, what's up, dog? My guy. Appreciate it. Man, y'all relax. I was just joking, Big Mike. Look like you twisting one right now.
There's a time and a place for all that, and it was college. All right.
Wrong again. That's incorrect, sir.
The game has changed, man.
It has indeed. It has.
The game has changed. I'm still in the late 90s, 2000s. That stuff they got now, man, that shit got me nervous even thinking about it.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt.
Be hiring a draft ass out here.
Hey. Thunder, you are trying to change history because he was a quarterback at OU. That doesn't mean shit. He was never when was he the quarterback's coach at OU? When was he the offensive coordinator at OU? He wasn't. What are we talking about? Revisionist history, don't cut it here. Come on. I know, hey, listen, I hate the dude as much as you guys do. Promise you. I can't stand Lincoln any more than you guys do. But we got to be real here. We do reality on this show. You know? That's all. We do reality here.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you, I guarantee you, as much as like Baker is the one that would have said anything, right? That would have said anything bad. And all he said is he makes it hard on himself with the way that he runs the offense. He never says anything bad about what he taught him. He never says anything. Kyler never says anything bad about what he taught him. They always give him props, always. Even if they are a little pissy about him the way he left Oklahoma. And they are. Because they're Oklahoma guys. But, and just like, I don't feel, I mean, look, you never heard Danny Stutzman talking shit about him either. He had love for Lincoln.
Hold on, I gotta go check on my dog. He out here chewing something, making all kind of noise.
A little pup. Bring his ass in here. I want to see his ass. How big has he got? And poor man just trying to make it at Sooner in Texas. What up, Shawty? How you been, man? Where you been? Which one? Big boxing. I wish every weekend before he plays driveway ball with the boy. Maybe. Oh man. All right, so I'll finish up that. The poll is over now. 71% think they'll finish in the top 8 for sure. Talk some shit, Nelio. Talk some shit. What's up, man? Welcome to the show. Welcome into the show. Where Dent's at? Oops. Hey, shout out to Bishop Frank for the super chat. Appreciate that. He gave it to us yesterday on CashAPP, actually, which you can always get in there and do that on CashAPP. It's an easy way to go. And YouTube doesn't get half of it. I'd keep my eye on it in here as well. And thank you to Nelio's been using Venmo quite a bit, which I appreciate as well.
Hey, come on. Yeah, he was out there on some bubble wrap, bro. I tried to grab him up. He ran up the stairs on me.
He did.
Yeah, he knew what was up.
What's his name again?
Jax.
Jax.
Nice. Yeah.
Nelio. What do you say? How you feeling there? Where is he at? Get his ass.
I texted him, man.
No, I said the dog. Is he in there? I want to see his ass. I haven't got to see him yet.
Jax.
So yeah, and Nelio just hit us up on the super chat. Good Monday morning, Jason, he says. Thank you, sir, for that. Much better. Hey, I'm glad you're feeling better too, man. That's good. Jason's promised to say anything you send, CashAPP or Venmo, so y'all get ratchet. Yeah, I'm about all that, but it's a gooder deal. It's definitely a gooder deal. Bishop Frank, Kimberly K. Good to see you, Kimberly K, back in here. I don't remember what kind. He was a little bitty dog, but it sneaks off to go take a Duke and all that stuff he was saying last time. Well, Norman, he's right here. Come here, Normie. Come say hi. Come say hi to everybody. Come on. Here, I'll have to push it down a little bit.
Got him.
Oh, there he is. He's grown quite a bit. Shit.
He got big, dude. He got a lot bigger than I had to get a new dog bed, a new kennel. I didn't think he's going to get this big.
Yeah. And he was, the last time I saw him, he was little as hell.
Yeah, he's
big. As big as this one. Oh, Normie, he's a monster.
Yeah. What's up, buddy? Say hi.
140 pounder.
Yeah, I think we're at 9 over here. I've been upping his food, trying to get him to 10 pounds. We're on that bulk right now.
Oh, whoa. Norm, you're gonna mess it up. This dog, whenever he decides to do the lap dog thing, he's tough.
Bro, this is
Norman.
so he's a hypoallergenic, right? So he's one of those Morky poos, you know, all kind of got kind of skin. My youngest one, Cam, he's allergic to dogs. That's the first little dog I ever had in my life. First little dog I ever had. But yeah, man, he's still a puppy. We're working on some things.
I wish Norman was hypoallergenic. He sheds the shit everywhere. Damn it. And he just shakes it off too. It's just I'm vacuuming like twice a day, bro.
Yeah.
Wilding.
Yeah. So I had a Siberian Husky growing up, and I had a German Shepherd, and those two jokers gave off some hair now. Like I go back to my mom's house up in Nebraska, and they're still white. So I had a white German Shepherd.
Big ass paw, dude.
Yeah, there's still hair. Like I'll move around. I'm like, how the hell? And like, you know what I mean? Like somehow, some way, there'll still be a hair somehow find its way on me from somewhere. It's so crazy to me. The cracks, the corners, ridiculous. I'm over here, Mom, do you vacuum this house? I'm like, what the hell? You know what I mean? But you know, I got to mess with her.
We just got a new one, another new super chat from CashAPP from Justin Rogers.
Kimberly K. Hey, Kimberly K, I appreciate it. I saw that comment earlier. You know, I appreciate it. Yeah, I consider my wife pretty lucky that she landed me.
Yeah. Yeah. Drewski says, I got a Husky Shepherd mix. I had more hair in the house than carpet in my old house. No shit.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. Norman, what are you doing now? Hey, get over here. Sit right. Bishop Frank with the super chat.
Bishop Frizzle.
Jason's all natural. Hey, Ryman said, before I read this one from Bishop Frank, Ryman said Jason's got the all natural. You're using that touch of gray from Just for Men.
Hey, I don't even, what is touch of gray? Does that like make gray or make your beard dark? Because
I don't know, but I've got more gray than you for damn sure.
Yeah.
Norman. Bishop Frank said, big salute, barbershop fam. Coach Dent, Big Bogue, and Hall of Fame Jason and the barbershop family unified as one Oklahoma. Thank you, Bishop Frank. Appreciate it, man.
Hey, did you see that on 3 joint that they put out? You know, it's list season, right? Did you see that? Did you see that last list that they put out?
Probably. Which one?
And I remember last year we had talked about this, like the top 25 coaches on there. But it kind of made me chuckle again.
Who's
because,
on?
like, you know, they put out a new top 25 list on 3. But I don't know. They just need to, like, damn. Kai Trump plays golf at Miami.
Who?
Well, one of Trump's nieces, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Or grandchildren, maybe. Maybe it's grandchildren. Yeah, I think it's grandchild. But 1.2. She got a 1.2. My mom just sent me a text. She's like, "Keep my name out your mouth." Oh, it's funny. You can hop in the chat, Mom. It's all right. We can take it. You don't got to send me text. You can hop on the chat and shoot your shot.
For sure. Why not?
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, they got a. Where's that list at, man?
Yeah, that sucks, Johnny boy. I hate seeing that. You had one just like Norman.
Yeah,
had to put him down. He may be.
Yeah.
Oh, he's just laying here now. He's always got something to chew on, is all I worry about. Either that or he'll get up here and get right on top of me.
Yeah.
Dude is a monster. But he thinks he's a freaking human. Quick. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, they put a
said Trump's granddaughter could swing it, Rob said.
I didn't know she went to Miami. That's legit.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I didn't
It
know.
really surprised me, I guess. Since I think they all kind of hang out in Florida. It's a good place to be playing golf if you're going to be a golfer.
For real, for real.
For real, for real.
Yeah. I'm about to get my golf game back up to snuff, man. I didn't play golf at all last year. Terrible.
I barely did.
Terrible.
I barely did last year.
Spent a lot of time fishing, though. I will say that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
solid.
That's actually a decent trade. You're gonna
Yeah.
have to trade one off. It's
Yeah.
not a bad one.
Yeah.
Had
Yeah.
a Weimaraner Dotson mix until now. Oh, that's a weird mix, bro.
Crazy. That's crazy. I never.
We had dachshunds, mini dachshunds for a while whenever I was still married, and and a pit bull, and the pit got pregnant from one of them, from one of the dachshunds, man. Old tripod Frankie. They made the ugliest damn dogs ever. Wiener pits, ugliest dogs ever.
Yeah. That's crazy. I like me a Weimaraner, man. I'm a big fan of German dogs, man.
Officially,
I did see that. I did see that. It's good.
Yeah,
It's good.
it is about time. It is about time. They should have done that shit last year. You can see the difference that it made in Avery.
Yeah.
When you could tell he got better throughout the year for sure.
Hey, you're right, dude. He's going to 100% benefit from that. But shout out to my guy Connor Riley, man, moving up to the NFL, getting the O-line job, man. That's my guy. Connor Riley is my guy. He's an Omaha guy. So yeah, congratulations to him, man.
Yeah, I'm a fan of his too. Yeah, listen, I think it's K-State's to win this year in the Big 12. I think they should win it. I know that Kansas is actually working the hell out of that portal though. And did they get
Kansas is dominating in-state recruiting right now.
That's what I hear. And did they end up is what's his name coming back? Shit.
Daniels?
Yeah, Jalen.
Yeah, he's coming back. Yeah.
That could be big.
Yeah. No, Kansas is doing a good job landing all the in-state recruiting, man. They're going pretty hard up here. Leipold and company is trying to change the tide.
Yeah, no doubt. And Lance Leipold's one of the best coaches in the country. I believe that.
Yeah, well, I mean,
nobody wins at fucking Kansas except for this cat.
If you look at they got him at 16 in that top 25 ranking on 3. Andy Staples got him at 16.
Well, they're going to have to beat Kansas State though before I say they will, because they don't ever. I think it's 15, 16 in a row now that they've lost.
I don't know.
To K-State.
I don't remember them beating them since I've been here.
Been a long time.
Neely will tell us for sure.
From paying the in-staters more than everyone else. Yeah, I'm sure he will. Jaron Kanak just changed to number 12. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
He's an offensive guy now. I love it. And Anthony Davis gets hurt first game playing for the Mavs.
I mean, what do we expect? 16 in a row.
You call your team trash, because that's what they are, trash.
Traded Luka. You're
That's. I mean, what do we expect? That's what it is with AD. You know what I mean?
Neelio says.
Yep.
16. I thought it was like that.
Guess who's number 25 on this list? It's SEC coach.
Beamer.
Nope. They got Beamer. Did I see him on there? He's not even on here. I thought he was on there. He's not even on there.
He shouldn't be on there, for fuck's sake. Come on.
They got old Drinkowitz up there at number 25, which was
Oh.
surprising to me. I thought they'd have him higher.
He ain't good. It's a bunch of bullshit.
Oh, they got Brian Kelly at number 8.
They had him higher than that last year for sure, though. The streak has a driver's license now, says Neilio. It's good stuff.
Yeah, old Ulysses. Yeah, I don't know where Den is, man. Hold
I
on,
don't know where he is either. He was supposed to be here already.
I'm going to call him. Hold on.
All right. You got him?
I don't know. He ain't answer yet.
I just sent him a text. Can't play golf, but I love the sport. Scotty Scheffler and Phil Mickelson fan myself. Yeah, I'm a big lefty fan for sure. I like Scotty. He's kind of boring, but the dude can fucking play. For damn sure. Spent last year healing from a car accident, couldn't play golf. Plan on making it up this year. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, my son's kind of a semi-professional. He caddies mostly now in Vegas. I've been kicking my ass for a long time, but every once in a while I play fairly close to him. No, I don't. He kicks the shit out of me. Even when I play really well, he still kicks my ass. But I wish he was a little more into it at this point. Lately, he's like, oh, looky here.
Big cut.
Oh, we lost him, though.
Oh, snap. We got too excited.
Almost got here, and then he wasn't. Big cut. He was giving old Chrissy a rash of shit the other night on the nighttime show.
Yeah.
He came in talking shit about 7-on-7 and all that shit like that, and he was not having it.
Yeah.
So
that's funny. Well, that dude don't like 7-on-7?
Yeah, he was talking stupid shit. It was stupid. Oh, we lost him again. He's trying. He must be in the back in the woods somewhere. Not getting a good signal. He's coming in, but it ain't working. To be completely honest about that, top 10K Kansas in-state recruits, half of them say we aren't going at them much. Off-year in-state, not like Michael Boganowski's senior season.
Tell you what, man, they got some. I don't know, that tight end. They got a big tight end again in Kansas.
Rob, that's not true. What he's doing is notable. They've had Texas's schedule only better for them the last 2 years. And they still have it this year. I don't find it that notable. I don't. Neilio, don't be taking up for his ass.
Hey, so you know who plays? You know who plays Mizzou next year? Early in the season, KU. They brought that back a little bit. That little rivalry right there. That's big.
Boy, they really do hate each other too, for sure.
Yeah. Premer. Yeah, he's pretty good, man. That kid's pretty talented. Big tight end out of Great Bend, and yeah, I mean, you know, JJ Dunnigan right next door in Manhattan, man. He's a hell of a player. He's a two-way kid. You know, he's athletic as hell, tall, lengthy. Committed to Kansas. He committed to Kansas as well.
Yeah, man, they must be coughing up some cash then.
Yeah.
They can. They have it. It's not like they're broke, KU. Not like they're broke there.
I'm anxious to see the new stadium when it's all said and done.
When's
Looks
it
pretty.
going to be all said? Have they even like started the next phase of that shit yet?
I don't know. I just see little renderings on Twitter
I keep
and
hearing
pictures
that.
or
I
drone
think
shots.
what? Well, now
They're playing in it this year, though. I know that much.
Huh?
They're playing in it this year,
Okay.
so it's
Well,
got
then
to
they
be.
must have gotten some of it done because they
plan
were. Huh?
I said they plan on playing in it this year.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. They must have gotten a lot of it done then.
Yeah. No, it's looking good. It's looking like it's damn near there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not. It's never been a great stadium.
Yeah.
It's kind of older than dirt.
Yeah. But hey, I ain't gonna lie, there's a little bit of a vibe in there though. When a couple times when we went there, man,
they're winning. Yeah.
They do a good job pre-game and like in-game. Like, I know a lot of people got a big complaints about Oklahoma's in-game experience, but Kansas did a good job, man. They kept it pretty live in there. And down against Dad spouts off quite a bit.
Hey, yeah. Actually, I have heard from the Sipping Sooner. Talked to him. Probably, I talked to him a little bit, but I talked to him a couple of weeks back, and he's been on the road a lot. Yeah, about the same. Usually they just, it is what it is. Looky here. Big Buzz in the house.
Man, what's going on?
Oh, look at
Bro,
you.
where you at? Where you been, man? Been MIA.
Man, I've been chilling, bro.
Yeah, you gonna have to move the other
Can
way.
you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, move that way.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Oh yeah. I do this.
Brother, again.
Man, this damn screen, man. I don't know. I don't know what the hell.
I got you.
Hold on. Let me get this damn
Oh
thing
Lord,
to set this phone on.
That's too close.
Hold on.
Looking up your nose. And shit.
That's just funny.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Go left or right? Which way I need to go?
Left.
Oh, right there.
Nope, a little more, but I'll fix it. You just stay where you're at.
Damn, man, y'all got me. I ain't got my studio set up this morning, bro.
I got you, man. Hold on.
What's that?
I'm working on it.
Damn, Boganoski in the house this morning. I'm trying to do some business. I get a damn text. I was like, what the hell is this? Big Bo.
Yeah,
What the hell y'all been yapping about this morning?
If you'll just sit still, I'll get you right.
Well, the one screen, I'm right. I'm still now. I'm not going no damn where.
Yeah.
Be still. Boom, gotcha. Bang.
Cool.
Oh, shit.
In there.
Oh, we're getting some microwave background noise though. I don't know what that was from. But no, man. Hey, yeah, what's up, man? You said you had some stuff going on this morning. We've been talking about all kinds of shit. You missed out.
Yeah, man. I had a couple fires I had to put out this morning, but it's all good, man. Just sitting here dealing with some of these Alabama fans this morning.
Yeah. Already?
Oh yeah, man. They, Jalen Hurts, Alabama quarterback. Man, y'all benched him and kicked him out of town. What the hell?
Hey, somebody pulled up his like bio and stuff on ESPN, and it says college, says Oklahoma. Don't say Alabama.
Definitely. That's what I put on my Facebook page. I was like, what does this say? It says OU. I mean, everybody, man, Tua's this and Tua's that. Man, Tua fragile. And any coordinator can tell you this. They had planned for Jalen Hurts. When they put Tua in the ball game, the offense was a little bit different. What he runs was a little bit different. And that was the difference in the ball game. They wasn't prepared for him.
Yeah.
He won the ball game. Hey, it is what it is. But I think it was a bunch of incompetent coaches not, you know, using all the tools that he had. That's the reason why they couldn't win it. Couldn't finish it out. I mean, they got to the championship game, but they couldn't finish it out. So hey, look, man, come to OU. He did his thing, and guess what? Super Bowl champion right now. And I don't want to hear about him throw the interception, been close. Those were mercy points at the end of the game. Mercy points. Because they could have shut their ass out if you ask me. But I digress.
Yeah, man. It's
But I do got something that I want to talk about.
man, let him get it off your chest then.
Hey, the Oklahoma insider, not the OU insider, but the Oklahoma insider, seems to think giving Mateer like an ultimatum, like he gotta do this, he gotta do that, he gotta do this, he gotta do that. Man, and you can go find it and look at it, whatever the situation is. But I'm like, he gotta throw for this many yards. No, he gotta work within the system and do what we need him to do. I'm so sick and tired of these people already. He gotta throw for 4,000 if Oklahoma's gonna be good. He's gotta do this. Man, y'all shut the hell up.
Who the hell said that?
It was somebody on Oklahoma Insider or something like that. Not OU Insider, not those guys. It was a newspaper. You have to go look it. You have to look it up. It came across my news feed this morning. I was like, man, what in the hell is this?
Nice thing to say.
Well, here's the thing, and I'm saying this: if he throws for 3,000 yards this year, and we have at least one of those guys, or 1,000 yards rusher, dude, it's gonna be hell to pay. It's gonna be hell to pay.
Yeah.
Because the defense is better. If the offense can move the ball, I kind of heard. I came in on the back end. You guys talking about, I guess tight end position or something like that. Yeah, but man, I think we're gonna be just fine. I don't care. You can come back and quote me, receipts, however y'all call it. Cuz telling you the 100% truth, man. Let the coaches coach, let the players play, and you sit up there and be a fan. That's how I look at it.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this much. The whole show, we started it about talking about the damn Athletic of all people, that they have Oklahoma as falling further away from being one of the better teams in the SEC because of their portal losses versus their portal gains. Notably of which they talked about Jackson Arnold being gone as a top 100 portal loss, and Mateer, even though he was the number 2 overall portal player, it's not going to matter. They're talking about receivers like Nick Anderson. You're just assuming that Nick is going to go down there and be healthy at LSU when he wasn't healthy 2 out of the 3 years at Oklahoma.
Dude, why do you think they're not here? They're not here because they're not here because of several different reasons. But we didn't have them last year, so how is it a loss to us? That's what I'm trying to figure out. We didn't have them last year, so how is that a loss? That's the stupidest shit I ever heard of.
That's what I'm saying. How can it be a loss for you to lose those guys and all of the receivers? We're talking all those guys that are gone missed time. Every one of them.
Except for Petaway.
Oh, yeah. Jaquez didn't. Yeah.
He was the only one.
The rest of them got hurt.
At some point in time. I think the next healthiest one was probably Brenton Thompson.
Yes.
And he missed a couple games. Yeah.
Right. But like Nick Anderson, for all of that, the big addition that he's supposed to be to the LSU. And listen, I love Nick. I'm not even saying anything bad about him, but the dude he caught 0 footballs last year. 0.
Yeah.
I'm willing to say that LSU is going to be fine because of Garrett Nussmeier, and they have guys coming out of the swamp to play receiver. I wouldn't worry about that as far as that goes. But you can't tell me that the
Nah, you
guys
ain't got
at
to worry about
Oklahoma.
that at LSU.
No, they don't worry about that, and nor should they. But I'm saying, like, in my opinion, here's the thing I think about the whole thing is, first off, you've got Sategna. He played at Arkansas. He had almost 500 yards. He's a baller. Well, I have the whole thing here. We could pull it up, but shit, Sategna, Keontez Lewis is a big time dude. Giovanni Gibson, I don't give a shit if it was at FCS or not. What we talked about this before. 6'3", 215, runs a 4.5, low 4.5s, 4.4. That translates anywhere, especially when you run routes the way he does.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean,
Athletic offensive line, young, strong. They're going to be better. Come on, man.
What you got to look at as a program. You gain production and you let non-production go. You understand what I'm saying? And so, how can we be worse when we gain production? I don't understand that.
What else do we gain?
We gain a quarterback and an offensive coordinator.
And
Hell, we got a healthy offensive line.
yeah, but we saved ourselves some what?
Oh, we saved some dough.
Yeah.
We saved some dough. I guarantee you the guys that we had coming in and the guys we had going out, I guarantee you we saved some money.
Oh yeah, for sure. That was one of my biggest takeaways, man. It's about the money and production value for your money. And we got dudes that are hungry.
Oh, no doubt about that. You got guys that want to eat, man. You know, it's a difference between a guy who just, okay, yeah, man, I was good and I'm good, I'm hurt, but yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing I did a year and a half ago, excuse me. I mean, it doesn't work like that.
No.
That goes for that's all of college football.
Yeah.
If you watch when these kids leave and let's say they come in a 4-star or whatever and they don't work out and they leave and they go to another school and look at the little ranking in the ranking system. 9 times out of 10 it drops. But the thing about it is what in our case, I think BV was wanting production. And he was wanting to see production. He was wanting to see an effort made to be there. And I think the Deion Burks deal, I think at the end of the year, talking to me,
they had 41 receptions, 690 and 3 touchdowns between those guys on the screen right there.
Oh wow.
I mean, the guys that they got, look, I'll tell you here Keontez Lewis had 49 receptions for 790 and 5 touchdowns. He beat them all. Right? Sategna had, 37 receptions, 491 and a touchdown. So he basically beat all of them except for in TDs. What am I? Ooh, did I lose?
Marcus, let me ask you this. Right?
All right.
With those 5 receivers that you see in the portal that we lost that or that transferred in the portal, how much money do you think was being spent on those 5 guys? Like if you had to guess.
Man, I
Because
said probably
I would
a
say
meal.
You think it's that you think that I would probably say it's closer to 2. It's just my
Oh
opinion.
yeah.
What I'm seeing. Especially with Nick, Andrew Anthony, and I can't remember his name right now. But yeah,
That's
I feel
three, that's 6.
You got you know what?
That's
Somebody we haven't brought up, Jaden Gibson, who was on track. I mean, he had 13 catches the year before that, and 5 of them were touchdowns. He was turning into the alpha dog in that room anyway. And then he got hurt. He lost his season to that. Along with Burks, then you got I mean, come on, man, carry on. There's guys and look, both of the Zions have an ability to get real good, and we haven't even started talking about ET.
Yeah,
The freshman kids that are coming in, yeah, both of those kids that are freshman wide receivers have an opportunity to get big.
dude. Let me tell you something. Emmett Jones did a hell of a job in the off season,
Hell
putting
yes.
together putting together what I think is going to be a top receiving class. They'll be in the top 5 in the SEC. I
Yep.
feel like that. I really do because everybody wants the glamour. Everybody want a kid that came from Alabama or a kid that came from, one of these bigger brand schools. But man, that's not always what get it. Look at the two quarterbacks that were playing in the damn championship. Where did they come from?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, bro. Let's keep it real.
Yep. From somewhere else. That
Yeah, Jalen Hurts just won a Super Bowl. Yeah, he came from Alabama, but he was a transplant. And he did his due diligence at Oklahoma.
he was
So
a Texas
man,
kid to begin with, even.
yeah. So my thing of it is this: they're looking at production. If you can get production, that's what you need. Those guys wasn't giving production. Yeah, granted they were hurt, and I hate that. That's part of it. I understand that. But to me, it seemed like the two that was hurt that did come back, they have a genuine love for the program, and I really think to be honest with you, I think they held Deion Burks out. I think they was like, you know what, this is pretty much a done for us. We don't want anything else happen to you. You sit this one out. I believe they did that. I don't believe Deion did it.
I hope that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, because he wouldn't still be around if he did, though, bro.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
you're
know,
right.
so I mean, the thing about it is they played the smart game with him. I really do believe they did that with him. The same thing with Gibson.
Yeah.
Gibson knows he has a chance to come back and be great. I'm being honest with you. Yeah, I want to see him running routes. I want to see him catching balls. But man, I just pray that he don't even have to fool with doing a whole lot this spring.
Who? Gibson?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think he's doing. He ain't doing much, man.
Yeah, I mean, I want him to run non-contact routes. And of course, I mean, like I said, that's up to the coaches. They know what's going on. That's why they get paid the big bucks to do what they do, and that's why we entrust them with our kids. But that kid, I think he's gonna be special, man. He's long, he's tall, he can run. Man, I think he's gonna have. I think he's gonna really. And then you got Gibson, another big guy. Man,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this shit gonna be crazy.
Our receiver room about to look a little bit bigger
Zion
next
Kearney.
year. Bigger.
Zion Kearney,
Yeah,
six
man.
6'4"
Yeah, but see, and that's what I'm saying. You talking about another year with Smitty, another year with Smitty, guys, getting bigger, faster, stronger.
Hey, man, I'm hearing some. Hey, I'm hearing some dudes is putting up some real numbers in these winter workouts, man. Like, it's been some impressive
Oh
stuff
yeah,
going. Yeah.
oh yeah, they getting at it, bro.
Yeah.
They are
Yeah.
getting at it, man. And looking at, me, I'm a I'm a offensive line, you know, guy because of Isaiah, but I'm telling you, man, that big boy's looking good, man.
Yeah.
Big boy's looking good. I'm talking about trimmed up, beefed up. I'm
Yeah.
talking about trimmed up, beefed up. You got to think about it, man. You get Eddie a whole year. Eddie came in the summer, bro.
Yeah.
Man, he is that guard that you need that can pull and run and got power behind him. He that dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
He that dude, bro.
Yeah. I expect. I have. I think. is going to compete, if not be a starter. I
He
just
has a
think he's
great
too
chance. He
big.
has
He's
a
too
great
big.
chance at it.
He's too big and athletic, man. Like, and it
Yeah.
already sounds like he knows the playbook, and he grasped it last year. So it ain't like Eddie's a big dummy down there in the trenches. Eddie's smart, man. I've
Nah,
talked to him.
man.
He's a
Yeah,
well-spoken dude, and he's
dude.
too big and athletic to be not getting snaps.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something about Coach B. Coach B is a hard ass, but guess what? He's the best teacher in the damn business, and
Yeah,
he's a hard ass not to be um not what I mean by a hard ass. He wants it done right.
yeah,
He don't give a shit. He wants it done right.
yeah. You
Outside
can't
of
be
football,
soft.
man, you can't be. Don't get me wrong. He have fun with the guys, man. He has he has. I mean, he has his moments, man. He just got that sense of humor, man. That I'm gonna be honest with you. I love his sense of humor because I hate to say it, I'm kind of the same way when I'm coaching. And my guys that play for me, I tell you, man, Coach Dan ain't about that bullshit. I mean, that just. But when we ain't, in the moment, hey man, let's kick it. But when it's time to get it done, you got to get it done.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
So Coach B is just one of those guys, man, that he's about the business 24/7, and you got to respect that because that's who he is. I wouldn't expect him to be nobody else.
yeah,
And
yeah.
the
I mean,
kids, and
you don't need to be
the
the
kids
best,
love
but
him though, man.
yeah,
Yeah, I
you
mean
don't
the
be the
kids.
best by joking, playing around.
Look, dude, they could be in there, messing around or whatever, shit. Coach B coming at mug. It's like, you know,
Yeah,
that's the impact that he has, man. You
yeah,
know, and Isaiah told me something crazy the other day. It was funny as hell. I'm gonna share this with y'all. Say they was in the meeting, man, and Eddie and Isaiah, they pretty tight, man. They was sitting beside each other, and so he drew something up, and Isaiah was like, he asked Isaiah what it was, and he got it right. And him and Eddie, they fist pump. And Coach was talking, and I guess he must have said the word wrong. He said out instead of in, or in instead of out, and Eddie corrected him, man. Really don't nobody correct Coach B, and Coach B was like, "Good, that's really good." So he put something else up there, and the first thing he says, "So Eddie, since you want to be a smart ass, what's this?" And Eddie got it right, man. But that's the type, man. That's the type coach that I want with my kid. I don't care about nobody else. That's the type guy I want coaching my kid. Point blank.
yeah. You got
You
it. Yeah.
know.
I don't
Because
want
you know the
nobody
other
that.
thing, you know how many offensive linemen from Oklahoma were in the fucking Super Bowl last night?
Ain't no telling, man.
4 of them.
4 of them, I believe. Yep.
Yep, 4 of them.
Hang
There's
that
a
on you.
reason why they're. I mean, the people that have been saying the dumbest shit, which is there's one of them dudes. I don't even say his name. He's a clown. But they'll sit there and do this shit and try to harp on that one season. And I'll tell you what culminated in last season with that offensive line. Lincoln's last year in Oklahoma, they got one offensive lineman that year, one in recruiting. This is before the portal was really doing a whole lot, any of that shit. So that made it to where you had to use the portal and stuff like that, and then you couldn't afford to have a bunch of injuries, and they had exactly what they couldn't afford to have at the wrong time because the 24K class, they're really good, but they weren't ready yet completely. I
Nah.
think had Isaiah not gotten hurt, possibly he's able to go and be ready earlier, right?
Yeah.
But as you said yourself, Eddie came in the summer. He wasn't going to be ready right away. Eugene Brooks didn't pan out.
Mm-hmm.
But
Correct.
and those kids from the 23 class and the 22 class, they're starting to get there now at this point. I think it's a hell of a lot more athletic offensive line than you had before for sure.
Oh yes.
And we're not, and
Oh,
that's
yes.
before you start talking about the 25 class with Michael Fasusi and Ryan Foje and Darius Afalava.
They're going to be
Who's
good.
going to be a bad dude too. Afalava is going to be a bad dude.
Yeah, they're going to be good, man. That whole class, that 24K class and that 25 class, when they get to be juniors and sophomores, man, you're going to see something serious. You're going to see something serious.
You ain't wrong.
Yeah, and here and I think the uppers, when I say uppers, the people that controls the money and the hiring and the firing and all that kind of stuff, I think they know that. I really do.
Well, you said yourself
So
before that none of them don't want to be the reason why.
they said that. They said that.
They've been saying it. And look, we've talked about this a lot though, and I think it holds true. I don't, unless there ain't no way they're paying $35 million for Venables to walk when he's recruiting like this, unless they go like 4-8.
Dude, everybody said, well, Oklahoma only finished in the top 20, man. That's the worst they done did. I said, but we only signed 18 kids.
Yeah, I don't like, they just go off pure points, right? Like I think you gotta, in order to say you gotta go off like average per recruit. And you know what I mean? Like, because if you take 24, 25, obviously you're gonna be up on the top because you got
right. No, people are
kids.
seriously misjudging the 25 class. They are, because they only got 18 guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that 18 that they got.
But they've been they've been underrated anyway. If you look at the 24 class, I'll go through and tell you right now. Don't tell me that Boganowski and Powers ain't better than what they were ranked, because I know they are.
Yeah.
Same with Isaiah. Same with Jaden Jackson. Jaden Jackson was in the 400s whenever he said yes to Oklahoma. 400s. He's playing right next to David Stone in high school, and they didn't feel the need to rank him higher. Are you fucking kidding me? The dude started every game as a true freshman at the nose tackles position. They missed.
Yeah, they missed. And they missed a lot when it comes to kids. And we talked about this on my show, man. Once these kids commit and they kind of fall out of grace with these guys, these guys are like, if it's another kid, let's just say you got 2 4-stars, and one of them, I'm just gonna say, commits to Alabama, and all of a sudden this guy, he's like, you know what, I really don't need to talk to the writers anymore. Man, I'm done. This is where I'm going. But the other 4-star kid, let's say both of them are 90, a 95 or a 96, and he's still keeping in contact with them. Guess what? Who are they going to boost? Because they can write stories about this kid. That's more clicks. That's more likes. That's more reading material, and that's their money.
Exactly.
Okay?
That's the whole fucking point of this shit.
So that's the whole point. So that's the whole point of it. That kid that shuts them down, he's going to drop. He is going to drop, guys. I'm telling you, he is going to drop. I've seen it. It happened with Isaiah. It happened with Caleb Cunningham, the kid from Mississippi.
Yeah,
that
we
was
were
a
just talking
5-star.
about that last week. Remember, 5-star guy, they dropped him to a 4-star because he didn't go play in the All-Star games.
Yeah, and he kind of just shut down his recruiting, man, because it was a done deal. And
watch that kid's film and tell me he ain't one of the best receivers in America.
No, he's one of the best one of the best in the country. I was hoping to get him. I mean, he talked to OU. I think the distance was his thing.
Yeah.
He's a country boy, man. I think he likes to ride horses and all that kind of stuff. And he wanted to stay at home, man. So it is what it is, and I understand that. But here's my take on back to the ranking system. There's something need to be done about that, because okay, you got these high 4-stars that have already negotiated a deal with how much money they're going to get. That's cool. But what about that kid that's just a 91? He's a 91, and he go head on and commit to a Notre Dame or somebody like that, and he just shut it down. He's a 91. Let's say they drop him from a 91 to an 87. He goes from a 4 to a 3, and guess what? His money value ain't the same.
That's the other part
And,
of it. That's the other part of it that people need to remember.
sit up here and say they'll sit up here and say this, that, and the third. Now, Oklahoma and some other schools might say, you know what, F that. I know what you're worth. This is what we're going to pay you. But you got schools out here that got a tighter budget, and they'll tell you, well, we just can't pay that for
That's
for
what
that
I'm
for
saying.
that
I
caliber
think a lot
kid.
of that shit happens because they know they can't afford that shit
Yeah,
to keep up.
yeah,
They
yeah.
know they
So
want the kid, so they don't. But I think that a lot of these relationships that occur between these system, the 247 on 3 rivals and those coaches happen because they want to be able to have it both ways.
oh
A lot
yeah,
of those
that's
coaches
it.
have it in their contracts that you get more money if you have X amount of 4 and 5-star guys, or what that idiot Catch calls super blue chip dudes, whatever the fuck.
Oh, that's stupid. That's super stupid.
It's the stupidest shit ever.
And-
But like, look, I know it came straight from Sheldon Terry that, and this went to the high top guys. They even said, we will bump a guy up or down based on what one of those coaches says. Like, okay, Brian Hartline, he badmouths the kid that decides he's not going to go to Ohio State, and because he's Brian Hartline, he badmouths that kid, and they drop his ass.
Mhm.
Or do you think coaches tell, like, hey, I need you to drop this kid?
I think that happens for sure.
Or like just straight up directly, hey, I need you to, we didn't get this kid, so I'm gonna need you to make up an excuse, put it out in the press, and maybe that'll help us save face because we didn't get a kid.
Man,
He
well,
basically said that. Listen to what I'm going to say real quick. He told Sheldon that Sheldon Terry told Shelton from High Top Sports that Hartline said something about a kid that had fallen asleep in a meeting or some shit like that, and then was talking about another kid that had some family problems, and they dropped him because of that.
yeah, they definitely. And see, guys, I'm gonna tell you, all of that mix, and I told you about this, Jason. I just got through talking to a high school Thursday. Was it yeah, Thursday? And guys, I was trying to let these kids understand that there's a lot of things go into these stars. It's not 100% on the field. People are not getting that. They're not getting that. I mean, I'm talking about your parents. Your parents affect a lot of stuff, man. And I know that sounds so stupid, but you just heard it from one of the top guys. Issues going on at home. Okay, can this guy deal with the stuff that's going on at home and the stuff at school? Guess what? If he doesn't have the mental to do that, then he's not this kid that we think he is. I talked about it on I did what was it, Jason? About a 30-minute deal just on talking about recruiting. It's actually on my page, on my YouTube page. Go and check it out because I'm telling guys, it is a different monster when it comes to these recruiting people and these coaches. Everybody sit up here and tell you, man, don't worry about the stars. And I get it. Because once you walk through those doors, those stars does not matter.
They don't mean
But
shit once you get to the school, but I'm saying
once you
but
get
it
to the
matters
school,
for you to get there or not because
yes,
of the money.
yes,
The money has a lot to
yes,
do with it, and then it matters to
yes.
the coaches because they get paid off of it too.
So what now?
A lot of times it matters to them coaches. Look, they talk about. I mean, we were just talking about Beamer. Is he one of the better coaches in the country? Fuck no, he's not. But you know why he's still there at South Carolina? Because he's been recruiting well.
Yep. And I'm gonna tell you another thing too. I'm gonna send you this, Jason, once we get off the phone. They did a top 25 facilities, and man, like their facilities is off the chain. And with him being able to recruit well and having facilities, one school had sleep pods. Man, that was the craziest thing I ever seen. Like when the kids come in, they want to grab a 30-minute. Let's say they get out of class and they don't want to go back to the room. They got these sleep pods, man, where these kids come in and they go in this pod and they just sleep, man, and it helps them rest for like 25, 30 minutes. Working on the railroad, we used to have this thing where it was called performance, and it showed where if you slept for 20 minutes was better than sleeping for an hour. And so they have these different little pods where these kids, they had about 15 of them in there because everybody's not gonna come in and take a nap. You know what I'm saying? But they had about 15 pods, and it might have been South Carolina or something like that. But he is being able to get kids because of facilities and his recruiting. I mean, when you put athletes on the field, they're gonna make plays, and that's one reason why South Carolina is where they're at right now. I don't think Beamer's a big, really good X's and O guy, but I do think he has some guys. He got some dudes down there.
Yeah. And Neilio, when you were saying, why are we enamored? We're not. We're enamored with what I like, and what I'm trying. The point that we're making is Oklahoma's recruiting at the top of America right now. Period. End of story. Now, it doesn't look the same as it looks at, say, Texas and Ohio State and Georgia and Alabama. But that doesn't mean they're not getting those same guys, because they have. And they were in the top 10 3 years in a row, top 5 one of those years. And then this year they dropped back because they only got 18 guys and they went to the portal. That affects your rankings or whatever. But the truth is, they haven't recruited like this since, 3 or 4 years before Bob ever left. They haven't.
You know what OU is doing? OU is getting it out the mud. That's what you don't understand, bro. They're getting it out the mud. They're doing
abilities and their
It's not
ability.
sexy. They're not getting all the sexy recruits. They're getting
nah.
You know why? Because they care more about, do you fit the culture in Norman or do you not? Do you fit their scheme and what they're trying to do, or do you not?
Yep.
Listen, here's one thing I know about Oklahoma and who they recruit, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They don't want no soft ass defense players. They want people that are gonna hit and they're gonna come bring the pain. Like they don't want guys that ain't gonna stick their nose in there. And that, that's defensive, outside, inside linebackers, corners, safeties. They want dudes that are gonna pop.
Yep.
And I know that for a fact.
Yep. And one old school guys, bro. They want new school kids with an old school mindset.
We're on this this sleep thing, man, and so I do. OU's got some things, and they got the deprivation. They got like that gravity thing in there where they can go in there and take naps. But like the power of sleep is like, I don't even know if we've as science and society has fully comprehended, what sleep does for the human body. And like, there is a podcast, Joe Rogan, and it's a sleep expert dude. It's a years back, but it is probably one of the best, most informative podcasts from this sleep expert guy. Like I probably listened to that podcast 3 or 4 times, because every time I listen to it, I'm like, yo, I didn't, that's real.
I missed that part. Yeah, I didn't catch that part.
Like, I didn't catch that, but dude, what's that dude's name? Hold on, I'm gonna find it. But
I remember that.
Probably the best podcast I've ever listened to.
Definitely, guys. I'm gonna tell you, that was a lot of what kind of derailed my career with the railroad was my sleep deprivation, and having to sleep with with a machine and everything, man. So it's since I've been off work, I get more hours, man. My body feels so much better. From blood pressure to everything, I feel a whole lot better by getting more sleep. Your body needs rest, and I think OU looks at that too, because I think Isaiah has like this sleep ring thing that he has to wear.
Listen, if you got sleep apnea and if you don't have a breathing machine, you're fucking yourself. I'm just gonna put it blunt, man.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I know dudes that have historically, like, had sleep apnea, and it's pretty prevalent in the Army, and they do a good job of diagnosing it. But I have testimonials from people that have just like, hey, once I got this sleep apnea machine, he's like, I cannot wait to go to sleep. He's like, I'm
Yes,
in the
sir.
bed 9:30, slapping that mask on and waking up at 5:30 in the morning or 5 and feeling like I've never felt before because they ain't never experienced it,
Yep.
because they were struggling falling asleep and not getting that good REM sleep and that deep sleep. But yeah, man, like that, it's life changing, man, and that's an understatement.
If I mess around and fall asleep without it on, I will struggle the next day.
Yep.
I did the late show with Jason, and man, I got off. I was actually in Dallas, and I had my machine right there by the bed, and man, I laid down to fix my pillow and messed around and fell asleep without putting it on. I woke up Sunday feeling like shit. Real talk. And that's just a part of it. But these athletes, I know they're doing all this other stuff. Man, in order for them to perform, in order for their body to perform, they got to get to sleep. And that's one thing that I stress with my kid. I said, I don't give a damn what OU says. I want you to make sure you get your sleep.
Yep.
You need to have 8 hours of sleep.
Yep.
You can do all your other bullshit that you got going on, man, but you need to
So,
make sure you get your ass in that bed.
so another great example of this is a couple years ago, when the Houston Texans were on Hard Knocks in JJ Watt. He was talking about how sleep and getting more rest has changed, you know,
His
his
his his
his
workout and
recovery
everything. Yeah.
growth and ability to be fresh at practice and playbook. This dude went in the back of NRG Stadium and converted like a closet into a little sleeping area where he bought a bed, put a bed back there, and instead of going home or doing things in between practices, homie would go back in the stadium and take a nap and wake up feeling refreshed or whatever. But like
Yeah.
this just examples of sleep and how it benefits in it's the most, people are like, oh, I'll sleep when I'm dead. You know what I mean? Like if you don't sleep, you will die. You know what I
No,
mean?
no
Like,
doubt.
and it's
No
in
doubt.
this podcast, like how it shaves time off your life by not sleeping. And that was always my biggest thing in the Army is like, you would have duty, where you're up for 24 hours, and then like, if you were, not living in the barracks, bro, you got to drive home after that. And I'm looking around, I'm like, does anybody not like think this is dangerous? I'm like, this is
Dude.
kind of wild because I'd have been at a traffic light coming off one of these duties and dozed off. You know what I mean? I don't know
Yeah.
how long I was sitting there. I just woke up and I was like, damn, what the hell just happened? I'm sitting at a light, my foot's still on the brake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Been there,
like
bro.
there's a part in there where this guy says like driving drunk isn't as bad as driving sleep deprived because your reaction time is much worse, when
Yes.
you don't have when you're sleep deprived. And then there's just all kinds of stuff in there that I was just like, man,
And that
yeah.
that goes double for an athlete, man. If you don't get your rest, you can't
Mm-hmm.
perform at a high level.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
and that's one thing that, hey, I'm gonna be honest with you, that some nights he's up, but on the weekend, but man, 9:30, 9:45, big boy, he gonna get off the phone with you. He laying it down.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He laying it down because he know he got to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
That
Yeah.
goes to all the science that we know about now that we were talking about this and we were talking about all the hitting and different stuff like that, that there's science that tells you with that they need a break. They need a break from this. And remember when Chip Kelly was with the Eagles and like Shady McCoy was all pissed off about him, making him, checking in on his sleep and all that other shit, because
Yeah.
they had that machine that they knew how much you were sleeping. Well, that was a little before its time as far as everybody was pissed off about it. They thought Chip was the worst fucking coach ever. And turns out he knew what he was talking about. He just, it just wasn't going to work at that point.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so I think there's a lot of stuff that ready for at a certain time, but it's clear that there's something behind it. I remember that kid from Ohio State when Urban was still there that used to sleep in that oxygen tent.
Yeah.
Oh man, boy, that sounds like some good sleep.
He was that receiver, the bald receiver, that white kid he was a badass too. I forget the damn kid's name, man. But I remember they did a thing about it, and everybody was like, "What the hell?" You know what I mean? It was like he was sleeping in a bubble. But he got healed quicker. I mean, the sleep that has a lot to do with your ability to stay healthy too. It's like you just said, you could die from it, but you also could get injuries that that are due to the fact that you're just not in the right shape at that time, or you're fatigued. Fatigue turns into injuries all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what your body's repairing itself when you're sleeping. You know what I mean? Just like to show you, back in the day when we were playing football, when you got a concussion, what did they tell you? You know what I mean? I remember getting my first concussion and don't go to sleep. That was a big thing. You can't go to sleep.
Yeah.
And
you
might not wake up. Yeah.
Yeah, you might not. Yeah, you don't go to sleep. You might not wake up. Like, what the fuck? Like, for real?
Yeah.
Man, we didn't know what a concussion was. You just got your bell wrong.
But that just goes to show you didn't know what sleep, the benefits of sleep. Like when you go to sleep, man, your stuff repairs. Your brain resets, everything starts healing, stuff like that. And like, just
you can think better, man. You can think quicker. You can think smarter, just by getting enough sleep, man. And that's why, these athletes, they have to have their sleep. And that's what when Isaiah gets off the phone, say, "Hey, I'm finna hit the bed," and like, and me, I from working a third shift, man, working for the railroad, I always worked at night so I could coach. I went to work at 11, 12 o'clock at night so I could coach high school football, and and do my camps and all the other stuff that I do. But yet and still, guys, like now, although I haven't worked in July, I think was my last. Yeah, July is when I went out. Well, June is when I went out. So I can tell you right now, I fall asleep a little bit later than my wife because she has to be up earlier. But man, if I go to sleep at 11, bro, I'm not getting up until 8.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna get my 4. I'm getting mine. I'm gonna be honest with you. I got to get me.
Dude, the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is look at my Fitbit and look at my sleep and see how I slept. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know. I'm just kind of I look at that first thing when I wake up to see what it was.
It's important.
My sleep score is, man. So hey man, there was a period, man. Like I got the the correct bed. I got the air cooling pillows, the memory foam, and shit. I bought one of them gravity blankets, man. Them shits was expensive as hell.
What?
Listen, dude.
What?
Listen, them gravity blankets, bro. They put that. I had that 35-pounder. Bro, I throw that thing on, bro.
I've never heard of that.
Dude, yeah, the heavy blankets, man. It's like, yeah.
Dude, I'm talking about like just pushes you down into the mattress, man. You like get a cocoon and just knocked out, dude. Knocked out.
I've never heard of that.
Oh my God.
He wasn't hard enough as a kid.
Treat yourself.
I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the real deal, man. It was a little expensive back in the day when I bought it. The prices have come down a little bit. So I want to say that
there more people are making them now. I was back in the day then because they're.
I think when I bought mine, it was like $300, almost $400.
Oh yeah, there's a lot to it.
Like I tell anybody, I'm serious about it though. You know what I mean? But yeah, that gravity blanket is the real deal.
Listen, I think that the bottom line we can kind of all agree on is that they're doing things right at Oklahoma. It hasn't equated into the season that we wanted to see just yet, but they are doing things right here.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And that's the whole reason that I wanted to do the show. That like with what I started it with this morning was because it's ridiculous that it's bad enough that idiots like that. I mean, we're talking about, Boganowski was saying earlier, he's like, shit, this is the Athletic that's the New York Times. And they can just put shit out there like that talking about, I mean, literally their little deal was talking about that they lost 25 guys to the portal. Okay, yeah. And that the guys that they got back, they lost a bunch of dudes that were top 100 guys. They're talking specifically about Jackson Arnold. They're talking about Nick Anderson, who didn't catch a ball all year. And they're talking about Deshaun McCullough, who, despite he had 17 total tackles, played in 5 games. And I think Deshaun's great. I love him to death. But I'll just say this. What could you really be losing there? You went and added Marvin Jones Jr. I mean, I think Marvin Jones Jr. had more production last season at Florida State than Deshaun did, right? Nick didn't have a catch, and Jackson Arnold was a damn turnover machine. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
I'm telling you this. Whenever I was covering the Big 12, covering Texas Tech, and then covering the Big 12 as a freelance guy that worked for the Hearst newspapers, and I did it for a while, I knew every damn team in the whole conference, top to bottom. And there wasn't any of this bullshitting like that because you'd get your ass fired if you were wrong like that. You can't just say shit to say it. And now they're doing it at the highest levels of journalism.
Well, check this out. I'm gonna go way back to Walter Cronkite. They asked Walter when CNN was getting ready to, blast off. It's gonna be 24 hours. They asked him, what did he think about it? He says the death of news report. He says it's going to be the death of America. He said because nobody cares about getting it right. They care about getting it first. They want to be the first read, and they don't care about having to go back and correct it because you didn't got all these people to read it. So that statement that they made, they wanted to get, if you want to call it clickbait, what they call it now, they just wanted to get something started so people can click on it and buy into a theory because nothing you're saying is facts. It's all a theory. Every bit of what they're preaching right now is a theory.
The drive-by media. The drive-by media is what Rush used to call it.
Right. And what I can't understand is how can you make a statement without looking at the production that they have coming in. Deshaun is like you said, was a great man. Yeah, I hate he left because I like the kid. I like the kid's personality. He was for Oklahoma. I don't think he left bitter. I think
he best coaches in the world too. His dad's a hell of a football coach.
Yeah, I think his dad just got a promotion or another job or something.
At Notre Dame. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he got another job. Did he get a promotion at Notre Dame?
I don't know. Maybe Neely will tell us here in a second, I'm sure. But
yeah.
But
regardless,
he was with Andy Reid for a long ass time.
Right, exactly. So what I'm saying is this right here. I think Deshaun loved Oklahoma, but his spot just he didn't fit. He couldn't find a place for him.
Right.
Yeah, he could play this position, he could play that position, he could play this position, but he need that one position that he could just lock down and maybe get him to the next level. Because I think he's a next level guy. I just think he just got to be in the right position and stay healthy to be that guy. I mean, Deshaun is like I said, man.
Yeah, every time you see it, stuff, that was part of it. But the other part was I think he was out of position playing the cheetah. That really wasn't working for him. And so to me, because he wasn't a cover guy, and he was having to learn that earlier.
Yeah,
we're talking about his dad. His dad's one of the best coaches. You talk about him a lot. That he'd be a hell of a coordinator anywhere.
Yes, I think he would.
Coordinator. And I think the facts are, I feel like Deshaun McCullough, it's a loss to you, but only in terms of it's production wise, it really isn't. and it damn sure wasn't a big production loss. It's a net gain when you look at the guys that they brought in, whether they're FBS and FCS, and that's what they brought up, was that they didn't go out and get a bunch of FBS guys or Power 5 guys, Power 4 guys to come in and replace all these dudes. It was a bunch of dudes from FBS or G5.
Dude,
Which is
that's why you
bullshit.
got. But that's for in the future, guys. That's where you're going to get them from because that's you can go and get those kids. There's not a kid that we can say the sports writers and all the P4s got it right. We got all the best kids and everybody else got the rest. That's a lie. So you're gonna have kids at the G5, at the FCS level, who get missed because of certain different things. Giovanni Gibson was a freaking quarterback in high school.
Yep.
So how in the hell would OU know about him as a receiver? Unless he goes out to Henderson State, put up numbers, and then goes to UAPB and put up numbers. You're not going to know about that kid.
Right.
So I want these writers to do their homework.
They don't. That's the point. And neither do all the recruiting services they're scouts. They're not scouting them all. They're not. There's no way you can, first of all. There's no way that you can. So saying just blanket statements. I said this the other night, when you were dogging Chris E, and I was like, see, blanket statements get you clowned around here.
And another thing, you look at, and I know you've seen it. We're going to do in Mississippi. I'm letting kids send me their stuff, man, and we're going to damn 24/7. Damn on 3, damn on Rivals, not in a bad way, but we're going to do our own assessment of some of these kids that don't have the offers or the stars just because they haven't had the ability to be seen. Let me tell y'all guys something. Listen to me closely. You got New Orleans got an Under Armour camp down there, which is a big camp to go to. And guess what? If you get invited, you go because it's an invite only. But what about that kid? Parents don't have the money to take him down there. Don't have the money for the hotel. How's he going to go? So how's he going to be seen?
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
So there are kids like this that get missed all the time by these recruiting agencies because the parents don't have the funds. The parents are doing don't care about them going to college playing football. Or the high school coach like, hey, look, son, I would love to take you, but I got to take my wife out to eat, or I got to do this with my daughter, and he can't go because he got obligation to his family. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I tell people, get on these 7-on-7 teams because a lot of these coaches on these 7-on-7 teams, they take their kids to these events.
Yep.
So there's a lot of positives, out there for being in an organization outside of your high school team. But at the same time, these writers, these so-called scouts, just because you don't see a kid, don't mean that kid is not better than the kid you've already seen.
Facts.
Because there's a lot of variables that plays into this recruiting and scouting stuff. I sent one of my buddies at Rivals a guy, and he was like, "Man, tell him to come to. I get him an invite to Atlanta." I'm like, "Who gonna take him?" Man, if he wants to he wants to see him, man, what about you getting a tip on a kid and you going to see the kid? Oh man, just send me his film. You see his film? Well, I don't know if his film was sped up or not. Who is he playing against? I get that. I see that a lot. But what about one Friday night? You say, hey, look, I think this kid is a top 4-star kid. I need to go see this kid. Put it in your budget to go see him. But that's not happening. They want all the kids to come to them. And everybody can't come to them. Everybody can't go to Rivals. Everybody can't go to Under Armour. Everybody ain't got $300 to go to FBU camp.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody ain't got $300 to go to the All American Combine. Not only the $300 to go to the combine, you got your hotels, you got food, you got everyday expenses. That's $1,000. Don't get me wrong, and I understand you as a business 24/7, the on three, whoever, you want to see all of them at one deal. It makes your job easier. I get it, and if you got the funds to go. But some kids get missed because of it,
Yeah.
and so what we want to do, with my show, the Gridiron Insight, I want to put some of these kids out there and show why they should be some of the top kids in the state of Mississippi and Alabama. Because there are a lot of kids that are missed just for that sake.
Yeah.
I mean, who can? It's just like the Canada deal. We're going to Canada doing a combine in March. So it's a lot of kids that has to come from Canada to the U.S. to play football to get on the radar. So us taking Catapult and recruiting service up there and actually getting these kids numbers, maybe we can bring them back and say, okay, this is a kid that you might want to look at, you might want to recruit.
Mm-hmm.
I got an offensive lineman that I'm gonna send to Coach B right now. This joker's 6'7" and ran a 4.9 on laser. Nobody knows about him. He's in Canada.
Damn.
He says in Canada.
In
Yeah.
Canada. Shouldn't be bringing it up, man. They're listening to us now. Come on, before you tell Coach B about it.
Hey, I ain't said any name though. I ain't spoke the name.
Ain't a whole lot of snowmen up there running a 4.9 and 6
Yeah,
foot
but they don't.
7, bro.
But they don't know about it. It's not on
You say
social
Yetis.
media. He's not on social media, bro.
Awesome.
I got it from his trainer.
Nice. There we go.
So what I'm saying is, there's kids all over that you don't know about.
Yeah, there are. There are.
So-
We talked about it a bunch on this show, and I think that in the end, that's why I think that this is why I know that the majority of the people that are talking the most, right, and the people that are hating on OU from within, the OU fans that are just dumbasses is the best way I could put it, because they don't get it. But it's because of that. It's things like that they lack the ability to be able to talk about in-depth things and talk about stuff further than just what the star rating is or what this is. The fact is this is definitely, look, I'll go back to the Clemson when BV was at Clemson. They won their first natty, and a bunch of it had to do with that defense before they ever got a 5-star. They were getting 5 stars until they won the natty.
Yep.
Right? They
Yep,
just
you're
won.
right.
They were one of the only 2 programs since Rivals became a thing that weren't in the top 60 that weren't 60% quote unquote blue chip.
Mm-hmm.
Only one, but they were in the 50s. It was them in Michigan was the last one, which just happened last year. But Michigan, you gonna tell me those guys weren't better than that? Because Harbaugh was going and getting them because he knew what it looked like to have that guy.
Yep. When you got a coach like BV that, he goes off of his years of experience, what he have seen over the years, and he look at a kid, he don't care whether the kid is a 3, 4, 2, 1, 0. You understand what I'm saying? You look at they offer Mikhail's son, he has no stars. 0. But this kid,
this kid that they just offered, Mikhail Steven. Go watch him.
But
you guys need to watch that video with me and Coach Dent and Mikhail's dad. This kid is smoking fast.
Oh yeah, he's super
headed
fast.
To the house. 26 kid. Go check him out, Mikhail Steven.
He's 27. He's a 27.
Oh, 27. I'm sorry, 27.
Yeah, he's a 27, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And he has Oklahoma, Ohio State. Who else he has? Florida State.
And he doesn't have
Miss.
stars. He's not a star guy. at all?
Nah, but he has blue blood. I mean, he camped and got these offers, man. Except for the OU, and he will be at camp at OU. He camped and got these offers. So what I what I want to say is, no, you might have not seen him at rivals or whatever, but Oklahoma, or not Oklahoma, but Ohio State saw him in person and say, yes, this is a kid we want. We're going to offer you. Florida State saw him in person. This is a kid we want. We're going to offer you. You understand what I'm saying? And he's a kid that's going to, I mean, he's going to do what he has to do. He's going to do what he got to do in the classroom. His mom is a professor, and you know how I told you what his dad did, what his dad was, man. So come on, bro. You talking about a kid he's going to college regardless academically.
Mhm.
So why not get kids that are really good at playing football and really smart in the classroom?
Yeah, it works. It happened. It works.
Yeah.
You know.
BV them does a really good job of making sure a kid fits. Now, it's just like anything else in life. You're gonna have some hit and miss.
Sure.
You know, you take the deal with Eugene Brooks. Man, I hate that Eugene left, but Eugene had some different stuff that was going on. He just one of those things, man, that he just didn't work out. You
It
know,
doesn't work out everywhere. There's
yeah.
kids that don't work out at every program in the country, and
There's
so
kids that don't work out at Texas. There's kids that don't work out at Alabama. There's kids that
think about
that
it.
are top kids, and then well, how could you let him leave? No, you got to know what's going on the inside, and sometimes it's not for people to tell what's going on. You wish a kid well, and then you go and bring the next kid in. That's how you do
Yeah.
it. That's how you do it. And for same way with all the receivers that left. You know what? I wish you well. I hope everything works out for you. We're gonna bring some guys in, and we feel like that's productive. You know, wish you guys well, and I think that's what they did. BV is a. Some people say he's too loyal at times, but man, that's a trait that I like about him. And then because you gotta, if somebody tell me something and I want them to go through with it. I want them to go through with it. Unless it's something that comes up, it just can't happen. I want you if you can go through with it, I need you to go through with that. And BV is that type person. But you gotta meet his standards though.
Right.
You gotta meet his standards. You gotta stay at that standard. If you don't stay at that standard, then yeah, you're gonna drop off and then all bets are off. The standard is what he expect for a championship team. And that's being on time, working hard, doing what you're supposed to do in the classroom, being a good person, um, being a hell of a teammate, those type things, man. That he's putting in these kids. What other school do you know the kids will say we don't want to be the reason why he's not here
Yeah.
because they have invested in him and he's invested in them.
That's right.
And for all the
We talked about
fans
that
to sit up here all the fans to sit up here and say, get rid of BV, guys, you're talking that noise. But if Ye walked in there right now and told BV to leave, now you got to start all over again because a lot of these kids are not going to be here. They're not going to even wait on the new coach to get here because they believe in the system. They believe in Coach BV. They love Oklahoma. But guys, let's be real these days. These kids fall in love with that person who's coaching them. And the university comes along with that. But these kids fall in love with their coach. Because everybody got nice facilities now. You can get an education anywhere. So these coaches, it makes a big difference. Look at John Mateer. Guess what, bro? he, He followed his coach. You
Yep.
know, do you think John Material would have hit the portal if his coach hadn't have left? Yeah, it's possible. It's possible because there were going to be some teams after him. He hit that portal because his coach was gone, and his coach just happened to went to a pretty good university in Oklahoma. So it was a hell of a fit. Why go somewhere else and try to learn a system when I can go and teach the system that I already know?
He's another. He's a good season, like pushing 3,000 yards and being fairly close to what he was last year, away from
Yeah,
being a first rounder.
dude. Let me tell you something. Y'all got to. It was one guy on that Oklahoma insider guy was saying that he had one game. It might have been against Texas or somebody that he went 9 for 19 or something like that. But he had like 165, 170 yards rushing. And he's got to do better than that. We can't have a game like that at OU. Well, guess what, dude?
What a fucking clown this guy already is. I gotta go find this dude. Jeez.
I'm gonna find it and I'll send it to you. But what I'm saying is this right here, bro. Yeah, he went 9 of 19, and pass percentage was under 60, way under 64. What people would like it to be 64 and above. But dude, look at he had to throw the guys. Maybe these guys wasn't getting open. Maybe they wasn't running the right route. So maybe the defense was just not
Their
giving
offensive
your ass
line wasn't
anything.
great. Their offensive line wasn't great. I've watched every game for the last 2 years here.
Yeah,
Cam Ward got his ass kicked 2 years ago.
that's what I'm saying. So
He
you
was getting
talk
the shit
about
beat out of him in those games. Their offensive line wasn't great. And on top of that, the reason that they lost those football games was because their defense was terrible.
yeah, and you put in a certain situation, man, that you don't want to be in, especially when you're behind the eight ball. So man, I was like this clown.
Yeah, dude. Come
So
on.
so
Inside of
so
my ass.
yeah,
He's inside his own head. He's dumb. That's
yeah,
the
but
beauty of it. This is why I love having you guys on and some of the other guys and like Coach Ricks. Shout out to Coach Ricks for being on earlier too. And we're gonna tell it like it is here. And hey, look, the people that watch this show know that we don't cut corners whenever shit ain't right. We tell the truth. We're gonna tell you if it ain't good. We're
oh
gonna
yeah,
tell you, like
definitely.
you said. I mean, hey, after the Red River game, anybody who watched us after the Red River game knows I was saying, get Latrell's ass the out of here now. It was awful. I remember
It wasn't
when
good.
I was leaving the stadium and I told Big Bog, I said, this is some shit. I was like, this is some shit. They got to get his ass out of here. And
Yeah,
we don't.
it was a
But here's
horrible.
the thing: we're not going to call for coaches' jobs all the time, unless we believe that that's the thing. And I don't believe that that's it. Do I think that they've hit where they need to hit? No, they're not there yet. But I know this: you keep stacking talent in the room like they have, and making moves like they have. You have to get better from it.
Well, check this out. John Mateer is a really good quarterback, and
Got
um,
two of the other good
off
ones right behind
yeah,
him too.
that's what I'm saying. You got two other really good guys right behind him. Okay, they're all learning this system, but I can tell you this: our offensive coordinator. Just think about him and Emmett Jones in there together talking.
Oh, dude,
Emmett Jones got a lot of experience that he could actually give to Arbuckle. I know Arbuckle is the OC, but
they're
just
from the
think about
same
those.
tree, bro. They're from the same
Yeah,
tree.
look, think about those guys how they can work together and what's going to happen with some of Emmett Jones just overall coaching intellect. What receivers pouring into Arbuckle, who is a coordinator. Man, you got two young, bright guys that's in that room together. Dude, they don't see what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
They do not. The fans don't see what's coming. They don't realize this. Emmett Jones and Arbuckle in there working this thing out. You got DeMarco. I mean, come on, bro. You got the minds. You got bright, young, innovative minds in that offensive room, along with the old school, the OG, Bill Beambo. You tell me that ain't a recipe for success? Man, I eat this damn couch with no salt. Shit. That's a recipe for success, bro. Think about the minds that you have in that offensive room right now. Just think about it. Emmy Jones, Arbuckle, Beambo, DeMarco.
Mm.
He left one
Oh
out.
yeah. Um, um, what's his name? Help me out.
Joe John?
Joe, you got Joe John, man. Look, I'm not gonna shit on Joe John.
I know you.
I like the hell out of Joe John.
Hey man,
He was
Joe
he was
John,
put in a he
he
was
was
put
put
in
in
a
the
effed up situation.
he
I don't
was.
give a damn
He did
how
better.
you,
He definitely improved it.
Yeah.
dude. That's what I'm saying. So man, everybody bouncing off each other, bro.
This is one hell
Everybody
of a
bouncing
get
off
hype
each
for
other.
25 speech, Neilio says.
You
Yeah.
said what now?
He said it's one hell of a get hype for 25 speech.
Oh yeah. You call it what you want to call it.
Yeah. All
Hey,
right.
but it is what it is. All you got to do is just think about it. You ain't got to just think. I guarantee you, the fans out here talking about these receivers and talking about this, they have not thought about that offensive staff. They hadn't thought about it, bro. If they had, they'd shut the fuck up.
That's the problem. A lot of times people don't think. You know,
No, they just
we talked about it a couple weeks ago about the defensive staff and how many former defensive coordinators are on as position coaches at Oklahoma right now. You know what I mean? Like
man.
you just you
Big
gotta
facts right there,
gotta
but
think, man. You gotta think.
You look at I'm gonna take Ole Miss for example. Ole Miss defensive staff consisted of, I want to say, three former coordinators. Arnett, um, Pete, and there was somebody else that's on that staff that was a former coordinator somewhere. So, not only that, Arnett was a former damn head coach. So they had a lot of people in that room
Zach
that
Arnett's a
made
very good defensive coach. He
yeah
wasn't ready to be a head coach, is what it was.
right. But
Bit
you
off way
think
more than
about
he could do.
yeah, you think about this, guys. That's why their defense was able to do what they did and go out and get the guys that made that defense tough. Guys, they're gonna have 5 or 6 of those guys get drafted
Yeah, listen,
easily.
Joe John Finley was one of the best tight ends that's been in Oklahoma, and that's saying something because Oklahoma's had some badass tight ends. He may not have
Yeah,
been Mark Andrews, and he may not have been Keith Jackson or Jermaine Gresham, but he wasn't that far off. He
right.
was. And so, yes, he can coach these guys up doing that. He may not have been great at calling plays. And honestly, he may have been a better option had he had the entire year to do it too.
No doubt. No
The
doubt.
bottom line is we don't really know. We don't know everything we think we know about that whole situation. I don't care who you were talking about.
You don't know. We do
I
not know.
promise you
We
don't know
were not
everything you
in,
think you know. I
we
promise
were
you
not
don't.
behind the closed doors. You're exactly right. That's that you hit now. If you hit the nail on the head right there, Jason. There's no way in the hell. I don't care what somebody and told you this, that, and that.
That's
If
right.
you went in the damn room, your ass do not know.
Listen, the only thing that I've heard enough of to believe is that they didn't want Luttrell around very early on, and it took too damn long to get rid of him. And so, knowing that,
Yeah.
and we also know that he took over everything and was deciding a lot of shit that he probably shouldn't have been deciding on.
Kind of micromanaging things.
Yeah. And so what's going to happen this year? I don't know. It can't be as bad though. It can't. There's no way that you get that many injuries and have that kind of a shit show going on with this staff. There's just no way. That look, Bill Bedenbaugh is the best air raid offensive line coach probably there ever has been, right? When it comes to the air raid guys. You can say what you want about right now. If you know, I think he's the best in the country, period now. But air raid wise, he gets it. He knows what he needs to do. EJ has been one of the best recruiters, and he's coached these guys up. If people don't remember that first year, what was the problem with Oklahoma's receivers? Not running routes very well, not catching the ball particularly well outside of Marvin. They just weren't getting it done. When they brought EJ in, it immediately changed. Those guys took it up a notch. He knows what he's doing too. You can't blame everything on the coaches that just whenever things don't go perfectly. In the end, I think these guys are ready to go, and that was the point of the whole story. We've been going for over 3 hours, but I'm glad that you guys both come in here, and I appreciate having you guys on every week. You know that. I believe that this team is headed in the right direction. I don't know if it happens this year that they make a real run at the whole thing, but it could.
Oh yeah, we are.
I think that within a couple of years, they're certainly going to be there and ready to rock and roll if you stick with this. And I think that there's no way they don't. You can't afford to pay $35 million out just for Venables to not coach here, and then you fire the staff too. That's $100 million plus that you're out. Oklahoma may have money; they ain't got that kind of money.
And here's the deal: you're gonna have to replace some kids also if that happens.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to replace kids. I mean, because you're gonna have kids you got these agents already chomping at the bits of some of these kids right now. And the only reason why these kids are here is because of the coaches that they have fallen in love with and believe in.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what? You have to revamp everything. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, Florida is a perfect example. Florida said, you know what? If we get rid of him, this is how much money we're gonna have to pay. We're gonna have to start all over again. Let's just keep him. And it worked out for him. I think Florida's gonna be one of the better teams in the country. You better watch out for their ass. Because they were patient with their head coach.
Hey, he was all but fired at the beginning of the year.
He was all but fired, man, after they lost that one game.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Him and BV came at the same time, did they not?
Yep. Yeah, this is year 4 for both of them. Yep.
Right. So what I'm saying is this right here. Just look at them. Look in this day and time, kids have more options. You can't just go out and get rid of the captain and think everything's going to stay the same. It's not.
Yep.
And outside of BV, it's not a coach in the country that you can bring in and say, hey, look, every kid is going to stay, because there's not one out there.
No. I've been saying that too. The guys that you're supposed to get, you'll get them because of the way they do it. They don't do it different with everybody. They do it the same. They build the relationship. You guys talked about this more than anybody. I've learned this from you guys more than anything. The way that they recruit you, they're not going to sit there and talk money with you. They don't do that shit.
Mm-mm.
They don't do it. They want to know if you're a fit. They want to know if you can play and if you're a fit. If
you leave with that with them, if you leave with money with OU, you're not going to be recruited. That's just what it is.
Yep.
I'm gonna put the secret out there, because here's the thing: Coach B want kids that's going to be there, want to be coached up under him. BV the same way. They want kids that want to come to the program, and then when you feel like, you know what, this is the place for me, then they're gonna talk, and then they're gonna treat you right. But the thing about it is, you can't be out there. Okay, I'm going over here because they paying $250. They playing 3 over here. Well, let me go over here, because guess what? I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Just because you got that 3 over there this year, don't mean you're gonna get 3 the next year. And you got to be a fit. If that school is not a fit for you, although you got $300K, guess what? You might lose the next year when you go somewhere else and only get 100K.
Yeah.
When you could have went here and got 200 and you ain't lost nothing. So sometimes we have to look at where we are, where we fit, and how we're going to benefit the program. It's not all about what they can do for me. What can I do as an athlete to make this team better, to make this university stronger? If you can't say that to a coach, then me as a coach, I wouldn't fucking want you.
Right.
Period.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely. And I think that
real
you're
talk.
going to start. You will start seeing a switch for. Hey man, look, I don't even know that it's a switch, to be honest with you. Look at all the guys that remain in the portal. That a lot more people go in than come out.
Oh
A
yeah,
lot more people go in than come out,
hey,
and after a
it's called a
while,
porter. It's called a porter for a reason.
yep,
Get your ass in that black hole if you want to,
yep,
and because if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, like I said earlier, if you're not holding up to your part of the standard, then guess what? Yeah, you might be asked to numb it down a little bit, or you might be saying, "Hey, look, we're gonna bring somebody in that's gonna do what you said that you was gonna do." And
you know,
it's not all about how you. It's not 100% your performance, because I believe when they recruit you, they understand if you do the things that they ask you to do, you're gonna reach a certain level. You understand what I'm saying?
yep,
It's Steve Winfall said this about Isaiah, and I've never heard this, and now I'm believing it to be true. I didn't really believe it to be true at the time. He said that Isaiah had one of the best bodies, one of the best piece of clay that he'd seen in a long time, and I was kind of bothered about that at the moment when he wrote the story. He said this kid is the best clay I've ever seen in a long time. Not in his lifetime, but in a long time. And I guess he was talking about his upside. And when a coach look at that, I did not put Isaiah's pancakes like a lot of guys do. I showed his ability, how he can get upfield and get the linebacker, how he could reach block, how he could pass protect. It wasn't about the pancakes, because I knew he didn't have when he first started, he didn't have all the big rating. I wanted to show his tangibles to coaches, and that's what got Coach B's eye, was his tangibles. I guess his part of the clay that Steve Winfall was talking about. If he asked to wait, I think his ass up to about 220 now, 320 now. Close. If he ain't 320, he close to it as you can get. You know, being 6'6" and a half. That's probably what his real height is. He's a little bit taller than 6'6". He's probably about 6'6" and a half, closer to 6'7". But just his work ethic in the weight room is not only because of him, it's because of his coaches, man. Coach Sway, Coach Smitty, Coach Bimbo, man, they expect that out of those kids.
yep.
And when you respect your coach, what are you gonna do? You're gonna do what your coaches ask you to do. Yeah, you want to do it, but you want to make sure you don't let them down. And I think every kid, and I'm talking about mine, but I'm talking about all the kids on the team that I know of, that I have been in contact with, they feel the same way. They hate this shit. They hate the 6 and 7 bullshit. Don't think they're just lollygagging around the campus saying, "Oh yeah, we went 6 and 7. We're gonna do better next year." Man, they hate that shit with a fucking passion.
Hey man,
Am I wrong,
the
Mike?
Oklahoma standard is real.
Am I wrong, Mike?
No.
They hate that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we talked about it last week, man.
Yep.
So what now?
We talked about it last week, man. People asked how workouts was going and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I kind of alluded to that was a sentiment going on around there.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be some motherfucking surprise, and I just wish we was keeping all these damn receipts
Oh,
from
they're
these
gonna
damn.
get it.
There's one
Believe
person I know that got them.
I got them.
His name is Jason Watkins.
I got it.
So you got him, Jason.
Richard Petty. Richard Petty, also known as Richard Petty.
Richard Petty.
Richard Petty. I take that one, bro. That's crazy as hell right there. Okay, that's cool,
That's just
man.
to prove his point. That just proves my point. He keeps receipts. I called him Richard Petty back in the Mortal Kombat, and now he still bring it up. You don't think I hear it, but I got it.
Oh, I did it on purpose, bro. Believe that. I said it on purpose. All right, man. All right, we gotta get out of here. But guys, I appreciate you coming in. Folks, I appreciate you guys hanging with us for as long as you have. If you haven't hit that damn like button, why not? We're here bringing you this fine entertainment and real talk. We appreciate you coming in, man. Just the main thing. You can always hit us up with a super chat on CashAPP or Venmo or right here. But the easiest and the free way to help out, just hit the like button. Just hit the like button, man. It's the main thing that helps us all out as creators. Make sure you get over, check out Marcus Dent on the Gridiron Insight. Mike Bogue will be on Mike and Mike on Mondays at 3 p.m. as well. Is it 3, right? At 3 o'clock.
3:30.
3:30. Make sure you get over there and check those guys out. It's going to be what it is. Guys, the bottom line is we're here doing it all every week. We enjoy it. Appreciate you guys for popping in and checking us out. But anything else you guys want to add before we get out of here?
Nah, man, we just peace.
I don't know what you did right there.
Yeah, I did it wrong.
Made it out. Just peace.
It was just peacing out. Huh?
Peace out.
All right,
that's what we used to say back in the day. Peace out.
You know. Okay. All right, guys. Well, thanks.
Man.
I bet that.
Going down as you're supposed to. We already know. This is the way it's got to be. And yep, we'll see you all on the next one. Maybe. No, I can't get out.
Adios.